What is going on, everybody? This is Thrifty back with the playground once again, and we do have guests here tonight. Definitely sounds like RPG dungeon music. I know, right? That's why I chose it. But yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am excited. This under construction sign is going away next week. This is the final show, point blank period, of the podcast as we know it as the playground. It will no longer be the playground. And so a little bit later in the show, I will reveal exactly what the new name and kind of the new, kind of the continued direction of the podcast is going to be. Super thankful for all of y'all who are here already. Go ahead and hit that like button. And like I said in the chat already, share this out. I am really excited about tonight. Sadly, tonight is not full of just upbeat and amazing, wonderful topics. It is instead full of, like, sad things. So, instead of starting off with sad things, tonight we are going to start off with another gaming topic, just like we've been doing the past several weeks. And tonight is going to be kind of older titles, like titles that underrated, overrated, older titles that still hold up is what I have wrote on the thing for y'all. And so, like, those titles, just want to talk about them a bit. I've been playing a little bit of a couple older games, and so yeah, just kind of wanted to talk about that because I think a lot of times we get lost in the sauce of having to play the newest hotness and having to keep up on the current whatever, and we forget that there are some old bangers out there that really, really do still hold up well. And so want to discuss that, talk about that, and then we're also going to be talking about Ubisoft and how they are making moves. I don't know if they're good, don't know if they're bad. We can discuss that tonight, but they are definitely making some moves, especially with that subsidiary with Tencent that they're doing. So we're going to discuss that as well. And then King and Rare get hit hard. This is a continuation and kind of a 1B to last week's story of the layoffs and stuff like that. So wanted to cover those again because we did get some information about King and what's happening there, and it's pretty disgusting when you think about it. Some are going to champion it as an advancement in technology, and this is great and wonderful and blah, 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 but the fact is it's really weird. And so we're going to kind of discuss that. And then Subnautica 2, this actually might be the best, this might be the highlight upbeat story of the night. Subnautica 2, the developers are suing the publisher. I am super excited about this thing. I hope the developers get all the money. I hope that they have to rename the studio, or I'm sorry, rename the publisher. Like, I hope all of it. I hope everything. I want these devs to win because this story is wild, and if the accusations are true, it's freaking nuts. Super, super nuts. Also, KOA sequel. You're like, what the hell is KOA? Nobody's heard of a KOA. Kingdoms of Amalur. There's a rumor that was posted in the Discord earlier, and I read it and I'm excited. I want it to be true. I like the first Kingdoms of Amalur. Would love for there to have been a sequel. There we go. But with all of that, as you will see, we do have XP and top fans and all of that stuff. So super excited about that. Yes, I found out that I was on mute. Let's thank the people who are here in the chat. First and foremost, we have Hero Down Under, Josh Ayers, Corey Massey, and JC 2013. I thought I saw another. Nope, those are the only folks who have come into the chat. So out of the about 12 people that are here, if you're out there and you want to stop by the chat, be great. Or you can leave me on in the background. Either way, it should be a fun night. With that, let's get to the to bad government spending came down on the original. Dude, that's a whole wild story. There's so many good shows and podcasts that have covered, not shows and podcasts, there's so many good videos out there of what happened with Kurt Schilling in that studio and like how it all went down. Like the game actually sold pretty well, but it still was not enough. Anyways, wild. So if we can get a second one, I'm excited about that. All right, let's bring the real reason why everybody shows up. Oh, real quick, you might be wondering, Thrifty, the AAG, what does AAG stand for? Well, that stands for Aggressively Average Gamer. That is correct. That is my new moniker. PSGR is gone, done for, out in the wind, never to be seen or heard from again, except on PlayStation, because I don't want to spend the $5 to change my name because I'm cheap. But I will do that eventually as well. And so, yes, that is the new name of me going forward. And so, yes, moving on. Will777JP, you are the real reason that everybody is here tonight. They don't come to see me. How are you doing, sir?
What's up, bro? I'm good. And by the way, the $5 charge is only if you change it like 5 times in a year.
Oh,
It's
I
like
thought it was
some number.
I thought it was like after your, because this is my, I changed it from college to out of college. Then later on, I changed it from that to Thrifty, and then I thought you only got like 2 free name changes. Oh.
Yeah, no, bro. It's like it resets every year. Because I just changed mine. When was it? It was like a few years ago, and I remember seeing something that said, you have
That's
X
what I
amount of
thought.
changes.
Laura just said they
But
charged for his second change in 3 years, but yeah, it may
oh,
not be free then. Whether it's free or not, I'll end up doing it eventually. But yeah, so how you been?
no, I've been good, man. Just playing games when I can, and finally beat Death Stranding 2 on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday night.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I stayed up super late to finish it. Went to bed at 2 in the morning trying to get it done, and man, I was hurting the whole next day, but worth it.
Is your life completely changed now?
You know, it's weird when you ask people what they think, but I think the general consensus is that automatically the game is really good. The I think a big portion of people will say it's better than the first one. I think not the argument, but the opinions kind of sway when you start talking about the story. Is the story of the first one better or the second one? I like the second one. I prefer the second one. The first one took me way too many times of starting it over again to finally click with me. And the only reason I did finish it is because I'm like, okay, screw it. I'm already like 20 something hours in over the last couple years. But what I don't see is how this game is a masterpiece. It's a good game, but it just takes way too long for the onboarding process, where the second one is wham, bam, bam. Within the first hour, the game teaches you how to do everything, how to select missions, how to, the whole thing, which was my hang up on the first one. And then once you understand everything, now you can start to play the game how you want to play it and strategize and all that. So people who are on the fence between, should I play the first one? Skip the first one, bro. I wish I would have skipped it because I didn't start playing Death Stranding 2 till July 1st because I was trying to beat the first one. So skip it. Watch a recap on YouTube. 10-minute recap will catch you up, and then start playing the second one. You are going to have a good time, man. This is way better.
I'll tell you this, you're like the 3rd or 4th person that I actually know who has played the game, who has told me, Thrifty, just skip the first one. Just go watch a video and then play the second. There's a lot of quality of life improvements and things like that. You'll really enjoy it. And I was like, okay. But
yeah, there's just, even the because what attracted me to the second one was the action. I saw the action in the trailer. Now, I understand Kojima a little bit, and I know that Kojima likes to spoil a lot of shit in his trailers. And I was a little concerned that he's just showing the best parts, like a movie, right? They show you all the good shit in the 3-minute trailer, and then you go there and it's like all talking and only a few minutes of action. But I was shockingly surprised at how much action there is. And that's what appealed to me to begin with. And yeah, I'm so glad that I took the chance and played it. But yeah, the first one is not necessary. If you're an action RPG kind of person, it's a little bit slower than your typical action RPG, but way faster than the first one.
yeah,
Highly recommend it. I don't say spend the $70 right now, But as soon as it hits, your price point, definitely get it.
Yeah, that's Corey in the chat just said DS1 isn't horrible, but it's not worth playing now with all the quality of life in part two.
hmm I mean, the first one does teaches you, I guess, and I understand the people that say the first one is better because in the first one, you're entering into this brand new world. So you're trying to figure absolutely everything out, right? The lore, why the world looks like this, why do people behave the way they do. So there's a lot of that that's kind of taken out of the second one, obviously, because it's a sequel. So there are some things going for it. But if you play 5, 10 hours, yeah, move past that because you have some sort of fundamentals already from that. And even if you don't, a 10, 15-minute YouTube video will smack you right in the face with the information that you need to know. But the
Yeah.
onboarding process is night and day.
So when I had stopped playing, or yes, when I had stopped playing Death Stranding 1, I was only about 5.5, 6 hours in, maybe about 4 missions, I think, is what I completed. And I just, man, I was falling asleep on stream. Like you can go listen to it.
hmm
Nelson even called it. He was like bored as shit, and I was like, I'm not trying to be. It's just the cutscenes are amazing. The story is great, but walking in between every point is going to unnerve the shit out of me. So I stopped playing it, and on request, not request, but on recommendation from Morgan, I watched a video over like the explanation of the story. And dude, I'm listening to it, and afterwards, I'm like, that's really fucking cool. So I go watch 2 more YouTube videos on the story. And then I watch an hour and a half long video on the story of DS1. And I'm like, okay, I'm really excited. The story is really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been a person to understand why folks would only want to watch somebody else play a video game. Like, I love watching gameplay from people who are like playing a game that I've already played, or like a lot of folks in Magic right now are playing like Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy IX or whatnot, and it's really cool getting to watch their streams, watching them play these games that I've already played and beat and just had a great time with, and the story moments and all the impact is there. And so like it's really cool, but I don't like watching people play games that I've never touched before
hmm
or that I plan on getting. Like right, like it's different when it's a demo because that's all the information that anybody has. When it's the full game, I'm so nervous about spoilers and stuff that I don't usually watch past like part 2 of people's streams who do that. And so it's it's one of those things that like going into Death Stranding, I really gave it a good old college try. I really did, and I really enjoyed it the first night because the first night was way less walking and way more like lore dump, right? Because it's setting everything up. And then
Yeah.
mission 2 is where you walk from one hub to the next hub and actually get your first you get the keys essentially. I can't remember what they're called, but you get the network keys. And then mission 3 is where you take the first set of network keys over to the next network, and you have to link it up and do all of that. All of that was kind of fun up until the point where I was like, wait, I have that many meters to walk between here and the next one.
Yeah.
This is going to drive me
So
insane.
that's another thing that made the difference for me. So in the first one, as soon as I unlocked the trek bike or the track bike, whatever it's called, that's all I used throughout the whole game, right? But it took so long to unlock that. I mean, I think I unlocked it at the 12-hour, 15-hour mark or something like that. And that's because I listened to everybody. I listened to Wooly. I've had conversations with him about it. RPG. I've listened to a few people and just push through, right? Um, and part of me wanted to push through because it's Kojima, so I understand this dude knows how to make video games. He's been doing it his whole life, and it's Kojima, right? But on the second one, you unlock that bike like within I think 2 hours or something like that. So you get it really, really quick. Not just that, you get guns, ammo, different. I mean, it's the world just opens up so quick. Where to me, the slow burn of that first one really turned me off because while not only are you traveling from point A to point B and you have a long distance to go, but you're also trying to figure out the game. And something that helped me understand the game is think of the walking as like you would play a strategy game, right? It's not just you get up and go and you platform. No, you have to think of it as a strategy. And that's the core gameplay of both games to be real here real quick. That still is a strategy of the second one. But with the vehicles opening up to you way quicker and all these other features opening up way quicker, it makes it way more engaging. Also, in the second one, it really feels like that distance that you travel in between point A to point B, it feels much shorter, much shorter. Like there's something more engaging. Um, well, this is a little baby spoiler. Well, no, it's not. Some trailers. There's actual creatures now that aren't the BTS. So it adds another layer to things that makes it more engaging while you're doing that quote unquote walking. But the walking was the most monotonous thing of the first one, the thing that turned me off the most because you're going so far. In this one, it doesn't feel that way. And when you do have that mission where you got a lot of walking, there's always something in between that is engaging. Not not just BTs. Yeah, you do come across those. Actually, in this one, you come across them way less. But there's always something different that comes across it, which was a huge difference between the first one and the second one. Honestly, my biggest hang up in the beginning was the music. I felt like the music in the first one was way better. And the whole walking thing really exploited that because you've been walking for freaking 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden you get to the crest of the hill and you see where you got to go, and bam, that music hits you. And then it's a fire song on top of that. So then it allows you to like kind of soak in that trek that you did. But while you're doing that freaking march, that's when you're really hurting, when you really get boring. But the second one, man, I'm telling you, if it took you 30 minutes on the first one to get from point A to point B, it's going to feel like it only took you 10, 15 minutes on the second one.
Yeah,
It's just a 90 difference.
when I was streaming, folks were saying that I was making really good time. Like, and so it's not like I was lollygagging or just grabbing every single collectible along the way, because I had also had folks who were telling me don't do that. Like, everybody here knows how I play games, and they're like, do not do that. You can't do that. You'll never get anything accomplished. So just
Yeah.
just don't. And so I didn't. Also, real quick, guys, just to let y'all know, the closing of the PlayStation Stars program is looming upon us. So, because of that, if you have any extra points on there, you might want to consider spending them now. I just remembered that, and they gave you a final rewards collectible as a send-off, and so I am gonna redeem my last $10 that I have still sitting there. So I need to get that done because I use that to buy games. Warawana, member of 14 months. Spooky how we got zero sales figures for Death Stranding 2 on PS5. PS5 is meant to be where sales happen, yet Sony is porting their IP to Xbox. Wild. So, half of that I will address directly. The other half, yeah, it's fucking
I can
wild.
take
I
it.
don't get it.
I can address that,
Uh,
actually, the second half.
so yeah, because I don't get it either. Okay, so zero sales figures for Death Stranding 2 on PS5. That, yes, I don't know why they wouldn't say anything, even if it's 2, 3, 4 million. Like, I don't think them being silent is the answer. I don't think them necessarily opening their mouth is the answer, though, either. Like, to be quite honest with y'all, like, they're kind of damned if they do, if damned if they don't, unless the game sold 8 million and they're waiting for, like, some big announcement from something somewhere. I don't know. But, like, I highly doubt that. The game probably didn't sell 5 million or 3 million even, and that's why we haven't heard anything. Like, that really is why. Like, we would hear something if it had sold a lot. I fully am convinced of that. Josh, yeah, we've been having this conversation on and off in the Discord for about a week and a half to 2 weeks now. Speaking of that, guys, if you have not yet, you can join the Discord. There's a permalink in the description below. But yeah, we've been talking about this a lot, and it's come up several times that, yeah, about 2 million is probably where it's at, or that's what they're waiting for it to hit before they say anything. But we're getting to a point right now, like, the game's almost been out for, what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks now,
2 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah, so
Two
the game
weeks.
2 weeks. The game's been out 2 weeks. If we get to like the 1 month period, or even the 3 week period, and we don't have sales figures, like that's weird. We had sales figures on games like Metaphor, on games like Expedition 33. Obviously, I think those probably had lower expectation like ceilings, but we still got those sales numbers pretty quickly because they did really well. Hell, we got good sales numbers on Stellar Blade pretty quickly because it did really well. So that does lead to possibly the game didn't sell as well as they thought, or it sold well enough, but it didn't sell enough for like, oh, hey, let's celebrate because it's such a good number, right? Like, it did its job. Somebody brought up in the chat, I think it was Josh, that Kojima likes to make his games just to be able to sell enough to fund his next project. Like, and so if they can do that, then they won. Everybody's happy, and we get to have more Kojima productions in the world. So, like, there's that possibility. Sony porting their IP to Xbox, we spent an hour and 45 minutes on that last week, and actually an hour and 30. And the general consensus that we came up with was it's strange, it makes zero sense, and we have no idea why they would do it. And that's still kind of my stance. I Wara asked a series of questions in the Discord earlier, and he was like, so Xbox ports their games over to PlayStation because, and it was like two separate options. They don't buy game, or no, they don't. Shit, I can just read them. Hang on, because this is funny. It was quite comical. Here we go. Okay, why does Xbox port their games to the PS and Nintendo consoles these past couple years? Number one, Game Pass and overspending forced them to port to rain money lost / spent. And then he said section 2, or option 2 rather, was other comments below. And so like he was setting all of this up, and then the next one was Sony is having the most profitable generation ever. Yes, obviously. Using real available data on game sales, do Xbox gamers buy games? Final Fantasy 16 sold 22K on Xbox consoles. No, they don't buy games. And so the final thing was, using the other three polls as information, why would Sony only port over Helldivers 2 to Xbox consoles? Phil either begged for it, or more games are being ported, it wasn't Sony's choice, or some other comment. Like, that's essentially where we're at. Like, because it doesn't make any freaking sense. None of this makes sense unless there is some truth to what I said last week with my straw man theory and tinfoil hat theory, that their live service their live service budget line has done so terribly awful that they want to port this over to bring that number up a bit, and they think their best thing to do that with is Helldivers 2, that has been begged for by Xbox gamers since its release. So, those are my thoughts in answering that question. That's actually a really good question. Will, I know this isn't on the topic for tonight, but what's your thoughts?
So with the Death Stranding stuff, it took Kojima 2 years to announce Death Stranding 1 numbers. 2 years. And when he did, it was 5 million. I don't think anybody is expecting Death Stranding to do buku numbers. That's just not the type of demographic that is going after that game. And PlayStation knows that very well. Kojima knows that very well, specifically after the first game. Secondly, yeah, numbers are cool. Numbers are interesting. But I really don't give a shit. It's nice to know, right? Because it's exciting to see how many players are also engaged in what you do. But as far as when they're going to release the numbers, I have no idea. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I mean, we did get some sort of information from Christopher Dring, where 66% less on the physical sales side of Death Stranding 2.
Ouch.
But there is some equations in here because Death Stranding 2 also did the $10 deluxe upgrade. Digital versus physical back in 2019 is way, way different. I mean, we've been losing. If we compare 2020 to now, 2025, I think physical has went down about 70%. It's some crazy number like that. I have a video on my channel about it, but it's a big loss. So it doesn't necessarily the game is selling less. It just may mean that, one, for the $10 difference, how many people did that upgrade to play the game 2 days early with the early access, and also just a large amount of people that are buying digital games in comparison anyways. But when I look at social media, right, because that's what we really have to gauge on, is social media. Are people playing the game
God help us all.
Well, that's all we really have based on, right, because we don't have any. I will say that on the first game, I remember it because I bought it at GameStop. I went home, put it on. It was like a Friday night or something like that, where it was just me. I didn't have my son. He was at my sister's house or something. And I had the night for myself, and I was so excited. The dude helped me pick the game out. I put it in. 20 minutes later, I was back at GameStop, losing my ass off on that trading because I was fucking pissed, right? I was like, what the hell is this? And I remember going on social media, a lot of reactions like me. But after about a couple weeks, you didn't really hear much about Death Stranding anymore. This time, we're about a couple weeks in, and the conversation is still going. There's still a lot of people engaging with the game on YouTube, on what, I forget the streaming service, not Kick,
Twitch?
but yes,
Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch. But the on Twitch, so the engagement is way more than the first one. So me guessing, I think they're doing right around between the 1 and 2 million first week. And then if we don't hear nothing by the end of the month, I don't think we're going to hear anything until a year or two when Kojima decides he wants to put those numbers out. Because remember, it ain't up to PlayStation. It's up to Kojima when he releases that info.
Man.
And if you want me to get into my theories of the whole Xbox port, War One was actually there, and he made all the sense in the world to me, which made no sense at all. And it was, he said, is PlayStation going to port Spider-Man next? And I'm thinking, no, well, because, Spider-Man is freaking, PlayStation first party, superhero,
sure,
to Sony,
sure.
all this shit.
All the pony caveats that everybody gives it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's this, it's that. There's no way in hell it could ever happen because they said live service. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then he says to me, well, Helldivers doesn't make any sense either. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make
so
any
let's just port
sense.
everything. Let's fucking port God of War.
Sense.
Fuck it.
It makes
so I'm right there with you guys.
Absolutely no sense. They are the market leader. They are in the winning position. Essentially, the console war ended with them as the victor. Like this is. It's been going on for years now, and they have had their foot on the throat of Xbox consistently since this generation started, and some would even say since mid last gen. Like to do that, to give the game over, that literally took last quarter one and quarter two by storm for last year, like that's absolutely stupid. Like,
well, let me ask you a question. What is the people ask, right? Or people say bots don't buy games, the whole thing, right? Let me ask you a question, Thrifty, and chat, answer too. What is the best case scenario, meaning numbers wise? Because let's just assume real quick that they want the engagement, right? They want more players. I'm not even going to assume that they want more money because I think they made plenty, but let's just say they want the engagement. What do you think best case scenario is by moving it over to Xbox? Do you think they'll gain an extra 100,000, an extra 500,000, an extra 10 million? What do you think is best case scenario for Helldivers?
Ooh, honestly? Oh, hey, what's up, C-Fresh? Hadn't seen you in chat in a while. Retro, holy crap. What is up, dude? You staying awake late for this, my friend. Okay, so what I really think is that if it's a wild success over there, they'll get 200K and in a bump.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll last. I think lasting numbers will probably be about 30 to 40K.
I actually think that, well, I'm with you. I don't think the numbers are going to be incredible, but I do think that whatever number that is, it's going to be more people staying than other normal games, because I feel like the Xbox gamer is more of a multiplayer live service arcade type of gamer, and I think this game fits right around their wheelhouse. Like, I played Halo Infinite. By the time I got to the halfway point where there's a mandatory boss fight, I think it was like 7 or 8% of people that completed that. So we know they're not playing the single player stuff, even on their premier freaking, first party title.
Well, sure, and it's
But
because Go ahead.
the reason I ask what best case scenario you think it'd be, because for me, I'm thinking best case scenario is like 500,000. But then the follow up question to that is, if they do sell 500,000 on Xbox, right? Does that really change things? Does that really change things? Because how many are really going to stay, let's say 100, 200,000 for the next few months, and then that number will drop off? But does that really make a big difference? The development cost, the porting cost, and then the damage that you're accruing to your own platform, like, does that, like, I don't know. That's a question that I have for everybody. I don't know.
So here's a couple things with that, because and we're going to get into some older titles and stuff like that here in a second, but this, when you talk about, will they port more, how much would they, because the question is how much does it need to sell for it to actually warrant more stuff getting sent over, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the underlying question there, is how much do we need to sell on that console before Hiroki Totoki raises his eyebrow and goes, you know what? I bet they'd love Spider-Man. Like, how long? And I just say Spider-Man because it's one of the games that has the most brand recognition to Sony. Period. Point blank. Done. Like, it just does. Worldwide, Spider-Man, the movies, the video games, those both are tied to Sony. So because of that, it's the one that everybody goes to. With that being said, though, I think I said 200K. I could see a world where, to be quite honest with you, the game sells 1 million on Xbox. I really can see that world, because when you think about it, if there are, say, 30 million Xboxes in existence right now between the Series X and S. Last number we had, I think, was estimated like 37, 38. I think that's right. Or maybe I'm wrong in that. No, that's right.
Something.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
I think it's like 33 or 38. But you're looking at less than a 1%. I don't know, about 1.5? 2% maybe? Way less than 10, because 10 out of 35 would be a 3.5 million. So yeah, you're looking at about 1.5% attach rate on that. And I honestly think that with a game that had the social media presence of a Helldivers 2, it should be able to pull that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that that's too far-fetched when you start looking at the numbers and how many players they have on the Xbox platforms versus how many they have, versus the attach rate of that.
Well, what is it?
Sorry, Robert. Wara just said exactly what we saw with Phil's only 4 games. Yeah, exactly. This is that shit we were talking about last week. Oh my gosh. This is that crap that we were talking about last week, because it's so bad. It's so bad when I see other channels making excuses, or see other folks on Twitter making excuses, acting like we ain't watching the exact same fucking recipe that just happened. Like, that's the part that has me so freaking wild. And, like, that's the part that blows my mind. Is we are literally in the position where this could be the start of the exact same thing that Xbox went through.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, right, because the other side of that is we could be at the start of where PlayStation sends 1, maybe 2 live service games over there, and nothing else happens. Like, both of those...
Which we knew.
Right.
They told us.
Right. Like, it could... This is what I said. It could end up being just the live service titles, like they told us.
Well, let me read this real quick because of the numbers. Because I see some guys say 2 million, and I just think that's way too high. This is the internet, so none of this, factual stuff before you guys start quoting me or anything. But it says here that they sold roughly about 15 million units between PS5 and PC as of November 2024. Estimates suggest that around 40% of sales were on PS5, with PC accounting for approximately 60%. Based on this, roughly about 6 million copies are on the PS5. PS5 has got what, 80 something million consoles sold, and we're talking about 6 million copies sold. Xbox has got
Yeah,
30
so I
something
think at the
million.
time of release, though, I think they only had like 60, so it was probably about a 8 to 10% attach rate.
So yeah, and we all know Xbox guys don't buy games. We all saw that the first question people were asking is it on Game Pass? We even saw a whole bunch of people saying, I ain't playing it till it is on Game Pass. So that number automatically, attach rate is definitely down in the gutter. And we know this, right? We see the numbers for, or we don't see, but we see the engagement from Fortnite and the big, even Call of Duty. The numbers just aren't spectacular on Xbox. So I don't know, a paid live service game like Helldivers, I just don't know. Or maybe on the flip side, since it has been getting a ton of attention for the last year, maybe it is the game they all jump in and decide to spend their money on it. Who knows?
Real quick, we have 75 people in here. Welcome for one. Two, y'all can join the chat if you'd like and be a part of the conversation. Also, if you could hit that like button, that would be awesome. Glad y'all all stopped through. So yeah, that's an answer to your question, Wara. I feel that we are we're in this position of, especially me as a PlayStation main. Like, I've purchased a game on Steam, I've played it, I have another game on Steam also now. Like, I've been putting my computer to work a little bit. My kids have gotten really big into Minecraft, both of them, and so we have the computer, the PS5, and a Nintendo Switch. Well, Minecraft is on the Switch and the PlayStation. And I'm not putting my children on a PC at their age yet. And so, like, Daddy wasn't being able to play my games. And so I went in here and I stared at my PC for a few seconds, and I was like, you know what? I'm sure I can find some older titles to play. I'm sure I could find some things to do. But, like, so I downloaded a couple games. Anyways, back to the point. The PlayStation gamer is in a weird position right now, especially the ones who have been involved in the gaming, like, news and, like, the social media side of it, like you were talking about earlier, because we're looking at this and you can do one of two things. You can put your head in the sand, you can pull the wool over your eyes and say, oh dear God, please no, this can't be happening, or you can try to look at it objectively and go, hey, here's two options. Either it's this or it's this. And big secret here, you don't have to give a definitive answer without all the facts and information. You can have an opinion. It's the fucking wildest thing ever. You can have an opinion, and that's okay. Just like I talked about earlier, there's so many things that these gaming channels want to lie to us about, or social media wants to tell us about how you have to do this or have to do that. You have to, if you're a Sony guy, well then you better wear Team Blue and you better do this and that. Absolutely not. If you're Xbox and you want to get invited to these parties, and you better cap for Xbox and you better talk about how good Xbox is. Hell no. I know folks who own Series X's who talk shit about Xbox, as well they should. Like, don't pigeonhole yourself into one thing just because the masses, or because a few talking heads with some subscriber counts tell you that's how it should be. That's not what we're here for. And so, because of that, I see these Sony guys not wanting to give credence or any kind of validity to the possibility that this could be the start of more games coming to Xbox. Which is fucking insane, considering back in October or November of last year, I had made a funny ha-ha prediction that PlayStation was going to save Xbox. I said that because of the PS5 Pro and the ports and all the things that would be coming over and all of that stuff. I did not think it would be because of the other way, where we would be sending our great fucking titles over to them. Or did Corey Massey? No shit, dude. Or it could be nothing. there's that too. But to not even give credence to the other side, I think is doing a disservice to anybody who has half of a brain. Let me read this real quick from Warren, then we'll get your final thoughts on this before we move into kind of older titles that still hold up. Warren Wanna with the Australian 5. All of these Xbox HD2 port defender ponies would have 1000% said Helldivers 2 is never going to Xbox consoles a month ago. They were laughing at the idea. Yeah, they were. Yes, they were. Laughing at that, laughing at Spider-Man 2, laughing at all of it. PlayStation needs the Xbox like Batman needs the Joker. That is actually a pretty interesting concept to think about. Will, do you have anything else on this side note before we?
Nah, man, I just agree with you. As you guys know, I criticizing PlayStation. I love criticizing Xbox, and it's never malicious. The reason I criticize these things is because I'm a fan, and hopefully my criticism inspires people to criticize. With that criticism, it reaches the ears of somebody who can do something about it. You know what I mean? And when I criticize PlayStation, Xbox, it doesn't matter. Nintendo, I've been going on hard on Nintendo lately. I just want things to be better. And logically speaking, it makes no sense why Helldivers is going over to Xbox. Do I think PlayStation will move games over to Xbox? No, I don't. Especially with how well the console is doing. Unless they know something we don't know. We're going based off information that it's available to us. And right now, what we do know is that Sony is having record-breaking years with the hardware. They're having record-breaking years with the software. They won the console war, right? So porting games over now makes no sense. You're gonna hurt your brand right when you're at the what's the word, precipice.
Right off the edge. Right when you're at the edge of, there you go.
Yes, right when you're at the edge of just hanging tight for a few more years while the console generation finishes up, and all those Xbox console guys make the switch finally over to PlayStation or PC. Like, you're about to gain a big portion of that group of people, because I don't know many hardcore gamers that are going to stay strictly with Xbox. Now, I do see a future where that hardcore Xbox gamer has a PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox like they currently do now. But the guys who only have the Xbox, I do not see them staying with Xbox whatsoever. And people want to talk about PC, but let's be real, y'all. PC is an expensive hobby, and the console is still the winner as far as cost and effectiveness goes. So I don't think that...
And ease of use. Dear God, ease of use.
Yes, that's the big one, right? Ease of use. The only way that I see people actually switching over to PC, which may be a possibility, I don't know, and I said I would do this as well, if they do a stream, like how they did the Steam Deck, where if they can come out with a console that is a PC console, but it has the streamline of a Steam Deck, I would be all in for that. You know what I mean? So if they can do something like that and keep it affordable and still hit the 120 frames, the 60 frames at 4K and all that shit, we'll see, right? But yeah, I just don't see this going. I honestly think people are sticking too much into this. As a business person, I would not be thinking about putting my games over, especially when I'm the default third-party machine as is. You know what I mean? That's another thing that I'm confused about. It's like, you're the default third-party machine. I mean, you have third-party publishers knocking on the door to have you do state of plays because you have the numbers, you have the gamers. You know what I mean? Like, Xbox, they can't even sell to their own clientele. Imagine freaking third-party, how they feel, right? So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. I say if we get another live service, depending on what that is, once again, right? But Yeah, well, I'll stop talking about it because we're just speculating at this point. Well, that's all we do anyways. But
That's
we're
all we do,
speculating extra
anyways.
hard. We're
It's
doing extra speculating.
we speculate educationally.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes we speculate out of our rear ends. That happens too.
All the
Um,
time.
all the time. Okay, so let's get on to some older titles, okay? Because
Yes, games.
yes, let's get on to some games. Like I said, recently, literally this week, I got 2 old games from Steam because Steam sales, by the way, are phenomenal. Like Steam sales, and I've known this for a while because I have folks in the chat and in the Discord and within this community who do play on PC quite a bit. And so the Steam sales are absolutely sick. I got Batman Arkham Origins for $1.99. It was awesome. I got Final Fantasy 13 3 Lightning Returns for like $6.99. It was great. And I will say this. Playing Batman Origins, or Arkham Origins again, that game absolutely holds up. Okay, hang on. See, Wara's gonna, or not Wara. Sorry, I'm used to Wara saying things that frustrate me. Okay, so Hero Down Under. he said he said Epic sales are better because they are free. Okay, listen to me. I had Epic.
Game Pass?
I had Epic before I downloaded Steam. Epic, I tried to play a game. Guess what? I couldn't get the damn controller to work. So I Google it because I have the technology. Google says, hey, do this, run Epic through your Steam launcher, and then you'll be able to make it work. You'll be able to use controller. So what did I do? I put Steam into Epic's launcher, or I'm sorry, I put Epic into Steam's launcher, launched Epic through the, now in my mind, superior software, because if you have to use one software to run another to make that one better, then the one you're using to run it is obviously the more superior software and platform. And so like I'm looking at this and I still can't get the damn controller to work. Also, what the fuck is the shader and why does it take 10 minutes to frickin' process it on Epic?
God.
But it doesn't take 10 minutes to process shaders on Steam. Why do games access and load faster and easier on Steam than on Epic? Epic was an absolute shit show that I am in the process now of probably removing it from. Well, I will be removing it from my computer post haste because it's annoying as shit, and Steam is just fine. To play older titles that I can't get on PlayStation, Steam is absolutely wonderful. Anyways, sorry, that's my little rant about Epic. Not a huge fan. Steam, on the other hand, Steam's easy. Steam is the easiest experience that I did not expect on PC. Because literally, it's download the app, launch the app, go to their shop, purchase the game you want, click download, and then launch. And that's it. And if you
wait till you do a Steam Deck. That's gonna change your life on how easy it is.
And so Thrifty saw shaders and looked out his window and was like, but it's sunny outside. No shit. No shit. Call it whatever you want to. That's why MS are sending their IP to PlayStation because we absolutely don't mind spending $70. Yeah. So Steam really is the best. Steam, when you're talking about PC platforms, I've only used 2 and I've not used them extensively at all. But between the 2 that I've used, yes. Oh, actually, never mind. I've used 3, and I couldn't get the damn game to launch. I tried to use Xbox Game Pass. I tried. I got a free month. Everybody knows this story. I couldn't get Diablo to launch because it kept trying to route me to my Blizzard account, but my Blizzard account couldn't connect to my Xbox account, so the leg bone wasn't connecting to the knee bone, therefore the knee couldn't bend, and I couldn't play a damn game. I was so pissed off. That's when I deleted the Xbox app. Like, listen, I am still the same person who said and believes that Plastic Box Makes Picture is the best way to go in gaming. Like, absolutely 1000% the best way to go. But when you have 2 little amazing boys who both sit on the couch and play Minecraft right next to each other and have some of the times of their life creating these amazing stories, and you're just watching an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old have this moment together, like, I'm not interrupting that. I don't care if it's my house. I don't care that I pay the bills. I don't care that it's my TV and PlayStation. I'm going to let that go. Like, that's going to happen. And so I wanted the game, and I went to Steam to do so. Anyways, buy a
Hey,
so
Thrifty, you
go
know,
ahead.
there's this thing called. Have you ever heard of the humble bundles?
Mhm.
Oh man, those
Yeah.
are awesome, bro. They'll group freaking. They'll have different packages, different pricing packages. Will be like $10, $15, $20, and they'll do, for the $10 one, they'll group 5 games together. 15, they'll group like 8, and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
and
And
they
they'll
got
usually
they
do.
got it big this month too.
Yeah, yeah, dude. So it's a great. Dude, that's why I got so many games on my thing. I think I on my Steam Deck. I think I maybe spent a total of like $60 on Steam, and I have like 60, 70 games. It's insane how the amount of games. Remember, there's so many games that get ported to PC, or that get put on PC. For a while there, this last decade or so, it felt like almost
Yeah.
everything went to Steam versus what we got on the console side. So yeah, super insane.
Oh wow, yeah. There's bundles out right now, and no war. If you'll remember, I actually traded mine. Corey Massey, I already know about CD keys because you can get PlayStation Plus tickets or whatever for super cheap on there. Well, not super cheap, but like usually 5-10% off. So they make it really, really easy. All right, so old games that hold up. Holy shit, we have 96 people in here. Oh, wow. Thank y'all so much. Old games that hold up. Mine, Arkham Origins. The game is absolutely stellar. It looks gorgeous. And one thing I can say about playing on PC is the game engine is able to be jumped up to about 120, 140 FPS. I have everything turned on high. Everything is the max that it can go. It's in the, as I call it, the screw your eyeball settings. And so, like, it's pretty cool. But it is the most jarring experience you have ever had when you go into a cutscene and it drops down to 720, 30 frames per second after you've been playing at 14 or 256. Sorry. Yeah, 2560 by 1440 at 120 plus frames a second. When that shift happens, it literally is like being on a whiplash on a roller coaster. It takes a hot second to get used to. Um, Prince Philip, I appreciate that. Josh Ayers reminding every single of the 97 people in here to hit the like button. I appreciate it. Will, what's your game that holds up? Now, I asked this because you play a ton of new stuff. Like, you are always there with the new hotness. If I'm the aggressively average gamer here, you are absolutely the hardcore gamer here. So, do you play old titles? Like, do you have titles that you go back to and you're like, shit, this is my jam. I want to play this. And if so, what are those titles?
Yeah, I do. It's rare, but I still do. I don't go below PS3. I
Okay,
refuse to.
that's fair.
The controls suck ass. The visuals suck ass. And plus, we're getting a lot of the great games remastered and redone. For example, I just picked up or not just, but I just opened it up yesterday. The Thing. So that's a game that came out back in PS1, PS2 era. But the game that still holds up today, which you can only play on a PS3, and I just beat it less than a year ago, is Resistance. I just played it, never played it ever in my life. And for those of you guys that
Which
know
one?
me, well, the first and second one.
Oh, okay,
The
cool.
third one also holds up really well, but to me, the first one, because it's the oldest, holds up the best. But those of you guys that know me know, as soon as a control feels tanky or it feels heavy, I drop it. I don't have time to waste. I have too many games to play. But with the Resistance, especially, I have an adapter that allows me to play with a PS4 controller on the PS3. Because I think the PS3 controllers suck. Well, they don't suck. It's just the joysticks that are rounded at the top instead of that groove that you kind of have with the new ones. But I just played it, and man,
Will's like, I need my groove back. This is how Will got his groove back through an add-on
basically,
strap-on piece. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
basically, yeah. Not only does it look good, but
It feels good
you
too.
can It feels good, and you can also play the live service aspect of it. Which, remember, guys, back in those days, is what we. That's why I was so hyped for Space Marine 2. That's what I call a complete game, meaning you have your single player campaign, you have your
Speaking of,
PvE or PvP aspect to it, and then you have DLC of sort. You still get all that with Infamous. Highly recommend you go check that game out.
God,
It
that
looks
game
good,
is
it plays
so
good.
good.
Never played it until recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, that was
Well, a
my
year ago.
introduction to Sucker Punch, dude. Like, that was my game. The lightning powers, the Paragon system where you could choose to, like, kill them or just detain them. Like, that game was so, so good. Then I skipped the second one, First Light, I think is that the name of the second one? First Light? And I played Infamous 2, or either way, I skipped First Light. I played Infamous 2, and man, it just seemed like the main character. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I played Second Son. And the main character just didn't catch me as much as the first one. But it was still a great, great freaking game. I absolutely loved it. So, so good. I was going to say this. You mentioned Space Marine 2, and somebody else in the chat mentioned CD Keys. If you go to CD Keys right now, not a sponsor, just a really cool website. If you go there, you can get Space Marine 2 for $34.69 on the PC. So, there you go. That's a Steam CD Keys. Get it. Because that's actually a really good price. I'm actually waiting on that game to go on sale for an under like $40 price point on the PlayStation. And to be quite dead honest, I need August. So we just got our vehicle out of the shop today, and it's going back in the shop on Monday now because the issue did not fix. And so there's that. We are then going, and my foot is in a boot right now because I tore my Achilles. And so, like, I need August and September to get here because that's when my gaming gets to start. That's when the games that I want are finally coming out. So, yeah, that's Space Marine 2. I need it to drop in price a little bit. So you mentioned Infamous. Mentioned I mentioned Arkham Origins. Chat, what about y'all? Is there any what's up, Lunchi? Is there anything that y'all can think of that like is that game that just holds up super, super well? And if I missed it, I do apologize. But there are so many games out there that when you play them, like Arkham Origins, the combat doesn't feel stiff. It feels fluid. It feels fast. And honestly, playing on the PC where everything is graphically enhanced, you have nothing holding it back. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Outside of the cutscenes, you could put this damn game up with almost any AA title that's released this year, and you couldn't tell a difference. It doesn't have all the polish of a AAA now, but like it has a ton, even to the point of like the shadow mapping in it, and like look at the shadow on the manhole cover right there, like clear, defined, really, really looks good. Games like this hold up so, so well. They were simple, even at the time. There's not a lot of like intricacies to them. The combat system, even though it feels fresh all the time, is not very it's not very complicated. It's the same combat system almost to the letter as Shadows of War and Shadows of Mordor. So like these type of games hold up so, so freaking well. And we got Conquer with the 5. Welcome, Conquer 218. Doesn't matter anymore that Helldivers 2 or Spider-Man go to Xbox because there won't be Xbox consoles soon. Just PlayStation 6 and Nintendo Switch 2. That is also a possibility. That has not missed me on how possible it could be that is actually what's happening, is like last ditch effort, let's get all the players we can in Helldivers 2 before Xbox is no more. Like I don't know, but that sounds like cope. Like I'm ready for Wara or somebody else to go, that's just cope. Holy shit, we just broke a record. We are at 103 views. or 103 concurrent viewers right now. That is amazing. I can't believe that. That's fantastic. Thank y'all so freaking much. I'm absolutely floored. And then we have Steven Leone. Here is a donation for Thrifty. Get another PS5 or a Portal. We must we must have forgot what was stated about service games. They're going everywhere. They're not abandoning single player for their game, for their fans. We need to stop getting in our feels. This is a cripple. This is for cripple here's cars. Huh? This is for cripple here's cars. Oh, talking about me being cripple. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Also, yeah, and that's what Will and I had already talked about. Like, but you have to be able to recognize that both of these things could be true. Like, or both of these things not could be true, but both of these things could be possibilities. And to deny either one of them is to infer some sort of certainty that we don't have, or some sort of information that we don't know. You know, Will had mentioned that earlier. Like, he's like, we don't fully know what's going on because we don't have the information. He's absolutely right. We don't. And so, yeah. Anyways, ratioed. Oh, still 16 likes. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, if there's like a bot out there that's doing this, but like, I need that like number to come up, guys. Like, y'all gonna make me start thinking that ain't nobody in here actually liking the video, that y'all just hate watching to see what the hell I'm gonna say, or you're like, oh, Thrifty said it's the final playground, so we gotta come over here. Yeah, we will never know. Oh, I know, Steven. All right, so Will, another old title that I have been playing on and off recently is Final Fantasy IX. And it is a title that, to me, actually doesn't hold up. And I think that's because I have seen the stories that came after 9, or even some of the older stories in Final Fantasy that are better than 9. And so it really hurts. I know, Josh. This is where Josh highly considers revoking his VIP membership to the channel. This is when Josh is like, wait a second, don't talk shit about this. But I'm saying, for me, it doesn't hold up, so I've kind of slowed back on playing it. And instead, I got Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. So, like, there are so many older titles that are worth a second look, especially if the new hotness at the time. Let's say you're not an Elden Ring fan, right? And Elden Ring comes out, sells 10 million copies in the first 2 weeks, and you're like, I give two shits about this game. That's when you play these older titles. That's when you find something that you haven't played in a while, or that's when you go grab some old 2-year, 3-year, 5-year-old title, pop it in, go get it for $6, try it out, and wait until your next game comes out. All right, so Will, do you have anything else to say on older titles? I know I've talked a shit ton.
Nah, man, just a couple highlights real quick. Spec Ops: The Line. If you have a PS3, that is a must play, y'all. I posted a lot about this game a while ago, actually, but the story is unlike anything I've played with before. It is a shooter, third person. It still plays really well. It looks very, very good. The music, phenomenal, but the story is insane. So check that one out. And another one that surprised me that played well was Castlevania Lords of Shadow. So that one, I actually played it on my Xbox first, and I loved it so much, or I loved what I was playing so much, that I went ahead and I bought it for the PS3 because I just dislike the Xbox controller. But yeah, so those are a couple titles that I highly recommend you check out if you want to go further back. Of course, anything outside of that, I don't recommend Final or Resident Evil 0 on tanky controllers. Suck ass. I know some people like that. Just wait for the remakes. I know they're probably going to remake most of them. They did 2, 3, 4. So those are always great games.
Yeah, you were mentioning Spec Ops: The Line, and that reminded me, PsyOps, that's another game that if you haven't played, and fun fact, if you wanted something that, what was that, Mind's Eye was supposed to be, go play PsyOps on the PS3. I think
like
it was
Mind's
PS3.
Eye.
PS3? PsyOps? PS3 or PS2. It was a PS2 game. Go find PsyOps. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so we got some stuff in the chat. Let's talk about them real quick because they're the main reason why everybody's here. Let's do this. Okay, so Corey said Spec Ops The Line was way, way ahead of its time. Josh Ayer said Lords of the Shadows is great. It's dope that Sony Pictures and Zelda collaborated for a movie. That's what Lone Cheese Sky said. RE0 is great. RE1 Remake is the best. And then Corey said Dante's Inferno still holds up. Yeah, it really does. A lot of those Devil May Cry, because they were so combat focused, I feel like they still hold up because a lot of times, man, when you play an older game, this happened to me with God Eater 2. When you play an older game, I went out and I bought God Eater 2 and I was like, I'm going to try it out. This game looks interesting on the back, and I played it and the combat was so clunky. It was rough and I couldn't get around it. So like when you have games like a Devil May Cry where you're playing it and you're going through it and you're having all this fun and it's all combat based, then like that was the main focus, and so that part of the game doesn't feel stale at all. And so that feeds into the gameplay loop, which, as we talked about before, great gameplay can trump rougher graphics or older looking graphics. You know, like Will Son always said, that looks old. Like, those graphics, like, FF6 and Chrono Trigger, yes. 1000% those games still hold up. The story of FF6 will still get you pissed off. Like, just playing that game and watching what Kefka does the entire freaking time, he is the most diabolical and just pure evil villain that I can think of in the entire Final Fantasy lore. I will say that a couple get close in Final Fantasy X, but just sheer pure evil, it's that dude. There's no sorcerer that's trying to control him. There's no life stream science experiment that gone wrong that made him crazy. Like, dude is just a psychopath. And so anyways,
the best ones.
I saw on X and came immediately. Priscilla, thank you. Good seeing you. We are at 115. Holy shit. All right. So, we are going to move on to the next topic. Ubisoft, right? They've been doing some stuff in the background. They've been trying to save their company any way they can. They've been splitting off, doing stuff with Tencent, and so we have some moves that have been made. And like I said at the beginning, I don't know if these are good moves. I don't know if these are bad moves. They make me scratch my head a little bit, but then the second part of it makes me go, oh, okay, cool. That makes sense. So let's get into it real quick. Let me pull this up. And Ubisoft names Vez Guillermo's son as co-CEO of new Tencent-backed subsidiary. What matters now isn't my name, it's the work ahead, says Charlie Guillermo. That is a marketing line, but that is exactly what he's supposed to say right there. Like, that is a PR response if I have ever seen one. It's like watching your quarterback after the loss of a football game. Yes, sorry, I'm a football fan. Like, those, when you watch those, and they're like, well, I could have done better. It was really my fault, but we're going to work hard. We're going to practice hard and put this game behind us. Nothing else really matters, and we're going to move forward to the next week. That is exactly what they should say. When what they really are thinking is, dear God, I hope I don't F this up. And so Charlie said the right thing. Charlie said, I know they started the company. Nepotism isn't always bad, sure. Then Ubisoft named the co-CEO of its new Tencent-backed subsidiary, including current Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillermo's son, Charlie Guillermo. And I think I'm saying that name right. The French publisher announced the unnamed subsidiary, which is partially owned by Tencent after a $1.16 billion investment earlier this year. The aim is for the subsidiary to oversee Ubisoft's three biggest IP, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, and act autonomously from its parent, that's the part where is the best thing that's going to happen. They will no longer be shouldering the responsibilities and the woes, I hope, of parent company Ubisoft, like big U, not little u. If you're in the Christian church, you'll understand what I mean by that. You have big C church and little c church, which means the church universal versus the church local. This is big Ubisoft versus little Ubisoft. Like, I am so glad that this does leave a way for it not to mean that big Ubisoft is going to be heavily impacted. I'm sorry, that little Ubisoft is going to be heavily impacted by whatever big Ubisoft's bullshit that they're trying to do. So, continue. Because now I'm scratching my head because as I'm reading this, I'm going, oh, wait, Charlie Guillermo, that's the son. That sounds like a bad idea. Why are you doing this to your son? And then I see Charlie previously led Ubisoft-owned mobile studio Al Lent before leaving to co-found Web3 indie firm Unagi and rejoining Ubisoft earlier this year. He will be joined, and at that point, I'm like, okay, wait a second. He went over to a Ubisoft studio that is not doing well, and left that studio and formed Web3, which I've never fucking heard of. I'm sorry, Web3 firm Unagi, which I never heard of, except for the movie Zootopia. And then rejoining later. So I'm sitting here looking at this going, wait a second, you putting a failed guy, or what sounds like a failed guy, because I ain't never heard of either of them motherfuckers, you're putting him in charge of the studio as the co-head. Great. This is just fucking great. Y'all are stupid. But then, once again, read it, he will be joined by co-CEO, by 35-year veteran Christophe Durenes, who is the former head of the successful Montreal studio and Ubisoft's managing director for North America. We can stop there. You can go to the Discord and find this article in the thrifty content section. But we're going to stop there for this. This is where I was like, okay, this makes complete sense now. Unagi is a blockchain thing. That makes fucking sense. Like, God, Josh, that makes total sense. Which makes me scratch my head even more. But Ubisoft Montreal is actually done pretty well. Like, they're okay. They're not terrible. I believe that this is a good move, having both of them there. Will, I don't know if you got a chance to read this. I sent it out super late. But what do you think of this, man? Is it good? Is it bad? Do you kind of see where I'm coming from? Where like, hey, this could be really good because they're their own thing now, or yeah.
So when it comes to something, so I've been part of three completely different types of businesses. I've been in finance business, and when I mean I've been part of upper management. So I deal with owners, CEOs, presidents, things of that nature. One is the finance world. Two is the automotive industry, and three is the construction business. And what I've noticed with all three is usually the same thing. One, you have the daddy, granddaddy who started the business. Two, the kids take over. Three, the grandchildren take over. By the third generation is when you really start to see the downfall of the business. By the second one, so daddy started it, son takes over. By the second one, it usually maintains pretty well. Now, this is very pivotal because at this point, the son actually takes full control. Everything he says goes. That's when they start to go into downfall. That's when the grandchildren take over. But what I've noticed in all three businesses is that when you have the kid who takes over, but then they have another leader in there that's been part of the company, the growth of the company, that has no stakes in the company except that I work here, I like working here, I have tenure, and I love what I'm doing. Those two tend to be a really good match for each other because one is there to hold the other accountable. One person tends to see the business side of things. The other person gets to see the production side of things. So I actually am very hopeful for this mashup that we have going on for that reason that I just said. I think that the studio guy is going to be able to keep things realistic for the money guy, because the son of the Guillermo family, he's going in there to protect the family assets, right? They just sold, I think it was 10% to Tencent last year, I believe it was. So he's there to make sure that there's still some control, right? And to also make sure the company heads in the right direction financially. Something these people are not good at, and we know this from the Guillermo family, is that they've always been about the money. They've always created IP that was the hot new thing up until Assassin's Creed, roughly. Once that started, then they started to expand a little bit into the newer IPs like Far Cry and everything else. But this mashup, I'm really hopeful for. You have the studio guy who will be able to keep him in check and let him know when things are possible or feasible, when you can't do something, the capabilities, right? Because sometimes these people sit in these positions, these higher ups, where they're not only out of touch with their workforce, but they're also out of touch with the public and the customer and what the customer wants. And the video game industry is so volatile because you are mixing art and production and so many different things. That's why over on my channel, I'm constantly talking about how video game industry has the worst of everything. They have the worst management, they have the worst journalists, they have the worst writers, they have the worst of everything. And it baffles me because they make the most money in the entertainment business. So you figure that with the best, or with bringing in the most money, you would have people of high caliber being journalists and being managers and being directors and doing all that stuff. But what throws the wrench in there is the creativity process. And that's where I think this mashup comes in a great, it's going to be a good thing for the business overall. So we'll see what's going to happen. Ubisoft is still Ubisoft, right? Now, I don't go hard on Ubisoft as much as others because I say that yes, Ubisoft has these big open world games that people are tired of, right? All these question marks and check things off the map, and some people can't control themselves to not do that and just focus on a single or the main story campaign, right?
Nope, can't help myself.
But what I will say with Ubisoft is we can't accuse them of coming out with a broken game, a buggy game, incomplete game. Their games, for the most part, come out well polished. They work well. There's really no game breaking issues. It's generally a sanitized property. You know what I mean? There may not be much substance as far as character and writing and music and all that.
Yeah.
But it's sanitized in a way that it's gonna work. It's gonna look good. The voice acting is gonna be great.
You're close. You're close with that word, but you're not quite there. So you said sanitize with an S, but what you should said is it's safe. They don't.
There's a reason I didn't use safe.
Well, they don't use a lot of
There's a reason
risk.
I didn't use safe.
Okay,
no,
what's
they
the reason?
don't. But remember, we have people out here saying that it's okay for things to be safe. That's why I took that word out, because safe is okay for a lot of people. So why should Ubisoft be the one to take the risk when safe has been working for them? I used the word sanitized in specific because not all safe games are sanitized, right? Even
okay, can you explain that just a little bit? I think I know what you mean, but you and I've been talking to each other for over 2 years now. Can you kind of expound on what you mean by that? That sanitized doesn't need to be blah.
So the sanitized portion comes in with games like I just mentioned. They work, they're not buggy, they look good. There's just no substance in there. Safe is more of, we're going to do the same thing over. Now, the disagreement comes in what people like, what people don't like. Sanitized, everybody likes. Everybody wants a game that works just fine. But the safe part, that's the discussion, right? No, I want them to take risk. I want them to do something different. Then you have the other side where people are like, no, I love what they've been doing. I want to keep it just like that. Just add improvements.
I get you.
That's why I didn't use the word safe, because that's up for discussion. But what's universal is everybody loves a sanitized game. It works well, it functions well, it does what it's got to do, right? But so that's the difference there. I hope that answered your question. And we actually went through that ghost of Yote, right? In the discussion in the Discord.
Yeah.
I think it was you and I forgot who else. Oh, Wara. Where they're playing it safe. And I disagree with that because it's a whole new character. It's 300 years later. It's not really a sequel, so I think they could have went a little bit more experimental. Safe wasn't the right choice for this game. Now, if they would have went with Jin Sakai, then I would have expected safe, right? Because we have an established character with an established IP, with a story's already built in, so let's keep it safe, right? Let's not ruin what we already had going. But just taking the name, anyway, that's a whole other discussion, but that word has come up a lot recently, and I think this fits Ubisoft really, really well. Ubisoft has always been, like you said, safe, but they've always been sanitized as well.
Yeah, so That is actually very interesting. I love the way you said that because when they weren't safe, or sorry, when they weren't sanitized, were some of my favorite games from them. So like Assassin's Creed 2
Me
Brotherhood,
too.
right?
Me too. Yeah.
Brotherhood was absolutely phenomenal. Then the third game in that trilogy, you go and play as not only Ezio, but you get to go back in time and play as Altair,
Mm-hmm.
which like
Yep.
everything felt so familiar, but so completely different because you're playing as
Different.
an older Altair. You're not playing as a younger one. Oh,
Well,
real
the
quick,
Ezio collection is my favorite.
uh, Conquer, I'm not ignoring your super chat. That will get us onto a different topic, so give me just a moment, okay? I'm not ignoring you, and I super am thankful. Give me just a second, though. Because when they did Assassin's Creed Origins, by far my favorite of the new set. Period. Point blank. Stop. I beat that damn game. I have 120 hours in that game. I did every single pyramid. I tried to find every single collectible. I did everything I could in that game. I didn't get the platinum because I don't have the patience for that shit. But like I did explore most of the map. I used my bird to go all the way through the damn thing, like from one end to the next. Sinew, I think was the name. Like I literally spent hours just flying my bird across that map looking for the pyramids to be able to go to those pyramids. I did the bounties, I did the hunts, I did the like all of it. That game was so freaking good because it wasn't sanitized. It
But remember, Thrifty too. I think that the difference between sanitize and save is also going to come down to the player. I think that the gamers like us, right, who are very in tune with gaming and we've been gaming for a long time. We're not the casual gamer, right? We don't play
No.
2-3 games a year. I think
God, no.
experimental and not safe is what we want, just because we experience so much. But your average, regular, casual, safe is perfect for them because they just beat the one game that they're going to beat all year. It's going to be 2, 3. Well, we're in 2025, so it's going to be 5, 6, 7 years. But generally, it was 2, 3, 4 years before they got the sequel. And a lot of the times, they enjoyed the story. They just wanted, upgrades. Like if you look at Gears 1 to Gears 2, right? They just upgraded a couple little things, right? But the main thing between those games was the story. That's why you're able to reuse a lot of assets. Right, so when we talk about sequels and safe and Ubisoft and all that, well, it's been working for Ubisoft because their biggest market is the casual market. So, of course, they're going to play it safe. Of course, they're going to play it sanitized because they don't really need to. I think that they're really falling short with everything else because at the same time, us hardcore gamers are looking for the unsafe thing. At a certain point, you do have to switch it up. Even the casual, after 15 years, is going to want something different. And we see it every single year with the Maddens and FIFA and baseball and everything, right? Another roster update, which I just commented to Hero about that today, right? But another roster update. So even they get pushed to a limit.
I still want that new roster.
Pushed to a limit. They still want the new roster, but even then, even though they buy it, they're starting to bitch. And eventually it's going to get to the point where bitching is not enough and they just stop, right? And look at us. When's the last time we bought a Call of Duty? And when's the last time we bought a sports game? Because we've had enough. Doesn't mean we dislike it. A lot of us still watch football on Sundays.
I own
or
College
baseball.
Football 25, so let's not go that far. I own that damn thing, and I own it like
I do too.
3 weeks
I got it
after
for $10.
I did too.
I got it for $10. So.
I got mine for 20. Yeah.
Besides it being a petty fuck, for the $10, I don't. You know what I mean? So I think that we have to also understand that us casuals, we are the trendsetters, right? I think that we're capable of being extreme. That's why I criticize all these companies, right? Especially PlayStation, because PlayStation is my preferred console. So I'm going to criticize them the most because I like them the most. That's why I criticize them so much and I'm so vocal about it.
God help our children. Because just God help our children.
But I'm hoping that, especially in today with social media, where we have developers following people, we have developers, directors listening to podcasts. Like it's a crazy time that we live in, right? That's why they say there's no more superstars, because we're so connected that if we saw freaking the TikTok star on the street, we're just like, I just sent him a DM last week and he responded, like, okay, big deal, right? But in the 90s, if you saw Steven Seagal, you're like, oh my God, like, what do I do, right? So I think that we still have that power where we can make something trend. We can definitely turn something off if we gather, if we stuck together, right? So it's very important that we do these things because we may not be numbers wise, we may not be the most important thing to these developers and publishers, but trend wise and being able to get a game, get some oomph behind it, we definitely have that strength.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that we have to realize. Like, gamers can speak in numbers. We have done it has been done several times this generation. Okay, like gamers have come out and spoke in numbers over several different titles. Redfall, to name one. Uh, Concord, to name another. So that was one Xbox, one PlayStation. Let's go one third party. Babylon's Fall. Like, all three of those games came. All three of
Damn, I
those
forgot
games,
about that game.
bro. Everybody did. It's fine. So, like, the games came, the games went, and the game's gone, and so are the studios behind them. Like, that was because they didn't hit with the gamer. They did not hit, and the gamer said, no, I'm not buying it. Like, and it was funny when you mentioned it, Will, because you were talking about how you're starting to see certain player bases have enough, right? Like, all it took was a slight crack or a slight little nick in Call of Duty's armor, and all of a sudden, First Descendant, Finals, the new one that you're playing right now that came out, the SWAT team one, like,
Ready or Not.
yeah, somebody else posted something about
That game's fire.
Shit, Wooly posted something earlier about the Finals being the best first-person shooter, period, hands down, blah blah. Like, they had a small crack in their armor from being very, very samey, and what happened with Call of Duty Vanguard, and what happened with Modern Warfare 2, I believe, like the re-release of it. Like, it was such an interesting time for folks to be able to go, it's our turn, let's shove this thing, let's get it done. And because of that, we see other people in that, or other companies in that genre starting to emerge. And a lot of them fall away, right? A lot of them don't make it. But there are some that can capitalize on that because the people speak. The gamers speak with their wallets and with their time. Now the internet is cooked. Twitter has made it so that it's best to ignore this community and focus on the people who don't engage with social media for gaming. Hey, funny enough, Corey, I looked, and if you go look at my X, I don't post hardly ever. Like, I just don't. Because I get on there and I read things and I'm like, oh, that's funny. And I'll engage with folks like Falky or Will sometimes. Like, I do engage with folks I screw with, but, like, I would talk to those people anyways. Like, it's just a way. And then at some point, I'm like, this is why Will and I had the conversation in the Discord about something that he had said. I think it was about Ghost of Yote, because I didn't want to do it in a public setting that was uncontrolled. Because then you have to deal with idiotic voices that come in and speak bullshit all the time. And I was literally wanting to have a conversation, and we had one. Like, it was the damnedest thing. Two people who disagreed were actually talking with each other and not getting butthurt the entire time. It was phenomenal. I had such a good time with that conversation because we were not being malicious to each other, and I appreciated that. Like, that's the way the gaming discussion should be. That's the way every discussion should be, guys. Like, how dare you? 100%. Like, that's the way the gaming discussion should be, though. Like, we draw these arbitrary, stupid-ass lines in the sand that are like, well, if you're, and I'll tell you what did it for me, but we make these lines in the sand that say, like, well, if you're a sports gamer, you're not part of the club, or if you're a Call of Duty guy, well, then you suck, or if you're a multiplayer guy, then you're awful, or if you like Souls games, then you're the worst thing to happen to gaming because now everybody copies them. So the problem is I just mentioned Warawana, Voyager 88, Henry Heck, Will. I mentioned, like, there are names attached to every scenario I just gave. And all of those people are in the communities that I'm in. And so because of that, I would be completely amiss and screwing over somebody who absolutely loves that genre or that type of game just to satisfy what? a need to be a fucking superior gamer and say, oh, because I play 95 hours in Elden Ring, then I'm the best. Or the opposite, because I have 100 hours almost, or 88 hours in God of War, that makes me better somehow than the person who beat it in 12 or 30 or whatever. Like, it's absolutely asinine when we put these pedestals up and these blockers up to people in the communities who just want to play good games. Like, that's it. The messaging to the industry from the hardcore... Okay, Corey, wow. Stephen Leon said, you all suck, puzzle games rule. And then Corey Massey said, Thrifty, the messaging from the industry with the hardcore gaming community is so disjointed that the internet has become an unreliable tool for feedback. We don't talk about things anymore, or we don't talk about things we like here. We only talk about what makes news or is trending. Yeah, dude. Like, and that's honestly where it becomes.
Can I get in on that too?
Yo, absolutely, please.
So
come on,
real quick, and
hit that like button, guys.
It. When he said, when I said the people can't stop chasing a shiny thing on Ubisoft game, right? And Thrifty knows what type of gamer that he is, and he says I can't, right? So I understand
100%.
when he says I'm not gonna play that game because I know that I'm gonna be too, disjointed while playing it. And I relate to that because I'm similar, right? I want to chase everything down. I want to get everything. And that's the reason why I cut Shadows short. And by short, I mean I only spent 90 hours in it. Because if I would have done everything, I would have been there for hundreds of hours and missed out on other gaming opportunities.
That's
right. Death Stranding 2, same fucking thing. I spent like 25 hours just building roads. And I'm like, Will, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we got RoboCop fucking coming out tomorrow. We have, Donkey Kong Bonanza. We got Mafia coming out next month. Lost Soul Aside. Like, you cannot spend 300 hours here. How about you beat the game, then you come back every couple days or a couple times a week and build the road, for an hour or two, and then keep it fucking moving, right?
Yeah.
Same thing applies to social media. Stop chasing every shiny thing. Some fucking dickhead. You know what's something that I started doing lately? When I say something in social media and somebody responds back, and if it's a for real, but this is where it takes self-reflection too, right? Because if you're chasing that argument or that high, then you're just as fault. But something I've been doing lately is some dickhead jumps in and say something stupid, I just stop immediately and I say, have a great day. And I feel like I'm shitting on them, and they know that because I cut the conversation off. And sometimes they'll keep rambling on, right? I just ignore it and keep it moving. And if it's worth it, then I engage. But we got to stop giving these people a platform because we already have too much of that. Part of the reason I started my YouTube channel is because I got tired of these non-gamer gamers talking about games that I shouldn't play when they haven't fucking played it. Or a game that they put 3-4 hours in, like a fucking action RPG, right? That's going to take 100 hours to complete. Not even do everything, but just to complete the story. And you got 4 hours in and you're telling me that I shouldn't play it? And then we have the negativity in gaming. Everything sucks. Everything is trash. It's not my preferred genre, so it's garbage. Look, I joke around with the Souls stuff because I don't like Souls, and not because the games suck, it's because I suck. And I'm not willing to get good at them. But those of you guys that know me know that. And I say that all the time. Souls sucks. But they know what I'm saying is I suck at Souls. But outside of that, I have a saying. Look for reasons to play a game. Stop looking for reasons to not play a game. So the whole Yote conversation with me specifically, because I've gotten attacked by a whole bunch of people, like I'm some sort of fucking Sony hater, when there's very few people that have invested in the ecosystem like I have. So I don't understand that argument. But when I criticize a game like Yote, it's because I looked for reasons to play it. And now that I did, now I'm going to criticize the things that stand out to me that I really wish were different.
Because you're not day one on that, are you? You're not day one on that, are you?
I am day whatever I can get a pre-owned copy of it. So if it's day 1 or day 10, that's when I'll get into it.
So you'd buy it for $65.99, but not for $69.99. Yes. Got it. Okay.
I will buy it for $69.98. Okay, with a scratch on the fucking disc.
So your not dislike for the game, but your apprehension to the game, your criticisms of the game are not going to prevent you still from spending $60-$70 on the game.
No, yeah, I
Okay.
just don't want Sucker Punch to get my money. I want whoever sells it to me to get my money from,
Okay.
after they
Hey,
paid it
listen,
themselves.
you know what? Not to the same level, but I respect the shit out of that. On the level that I did the exact same thing with Diablo 4. I gave my I gave my money to my local game store because I got it for like $25 like, on a
Yeah.
pre-owned sale. That's what
Well,
happened.
I did that with Shadows. I did that with Veilguard. These are games that I had because I'm looking for reasons to play it, right? But I also don't want to support the shit that I don't like.
Hey, listen, I'm
So
15 hours into Veilguard and I still haven't gotten to that stupid section that everybody blew up social media about and that we talked about for
yeah,
30, 45 minutes. I haven't even gotten there. I don't even know if I missed it. Like, at this point, the biggest frustration in that game is that all the characters look like females just with no chest or with
yeah,
a chest. Like, it's weird. Every single male
yeah.
character looks like, even Solus. Like, even the main character, like, one of the main NPCs of the game looks female. Like,
Hmm.
it's really, really weird. Unless you're a really fat dwarf like Varric is, or not dwarf, but a really fat, short little guy like Varric, you're not. You look feminine, and it's just weird. And I've tried everything. My dude looks like. I'm not going to say names because that would be rude, but just the really strong ass jawline and freaking smooth as silk complexion. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but like, he's a
Yeah,
dwarf. Thank you. I thought he was.
yeah, he's a dwarf. I got like 10 hours into it. I was expecting something like Dragon Age
130.
Inquisition. Well, I guess I wasn't expecting it because they showed us it wasn't that. But I guess I was hoping that it was going to be something similar. But it wasn't, so I kind of stopped playing it. It just wasn't, the story wasn't catching me, and I just whatever. But yeah, the game it's not terrible. I mean, it does have some things I didn't like, but once again, $70 is a lot of money, and I'm huge on ownership, and I'm huge on supporting the things that I love. And Death Stranding 2, for example, I have a physical copy. I love that game. Now, this is rare, but I bought a digital copy as well. Now I'm going to give my physical copy to somebody else who wants to play the game, and then once it goes on sale, for $20, then I'll buy it for the collection again. But
So
I want to support these studios that do the things that I like. And unfortunately, my big thing with Yote is I feel like there was a lot of story left with Jin. I wanted Jin. And let's be real here, guys. How many people expected a Jin sequel? 90% of people did.
well, yeah. I mean, hell,
So
you and I talked about what we wanted
that
from the
threw
next
me
Ghost
off.
game. Like, you and I have had the conversation of, hey, what do you want from the next Ghost game? And I'll be honest, what I wanted from the next Ghost game was, yeah, I wanted Jin Sakai. I wanted to hear his story, what happened. Now that he is the Ghost, what about the burden of, I don't want to say the end, but what about the burden or not burden of whatever you decide at the end? Like, how does that go? But like, the story they gave us, I. So after
Remember, the
talking,
Emperor is still hunting him. The Mongols are still invading mainland Japan. Tomei is in mainland Japan. What's her
sure,
name? Zuma. I mean, there's still a lot of open-ended questions. Like, I just feel
I
like the
will
story
say
is not
what
complete.
one of the things I liked about the Ghost of Yotai gameplay reveal was that they explained why she's called the Ghost, right? How did that happen? And I had mentioned that in my reaction of it. Like, I really enjoyed the way that they explained it, so people aren't left to wonder, well, is she like a descendant of Jin? Is she this? Is she that? Does it tie in this way? But then, as you and I were having our discussion, I was like, you know what? It is kind of strange why you would make a Ghost of Yotai be a sequel, be a sort of sequel to Ghost of Tsushima when it has no connection at all to the first game, other than being in that region at large.
Yeah.
And so, like, that is kind of strange.
Thank you, Josh. Shogun.
What? Shogun, not Emperor. Yeah,
Shogun.
thank you.
Yeah.
And so, like, do I still think the game looks great? Absolutely. Am I super excited about some of the things they've added? Like, instead of having to memorize stances, it's weapon swaps. Like, that to me, I can't wait. That's going to be fun. But what's funny is they might just map them the same exact way. So, like,
They probably will.
You're still
So
doing
that's
the
the
same damn thing.
that's the thing that's really frustrating me because I was iffy, right, with the story trailer of Ghost of Yote. And mind you, I haven't beaten the game. I don't have an advanced copy of the script, so this is all just based on what we have. But when I compare the Ghost of Tsushima story trailer, right away we can see there some family things going on, some cultural things, some political things. Like there was layers. With Yote, it just seemed okay, revenge story, right? Now, of course, they're gonna get creative and they're gonna make it different, so it's not like every other revenge story. I understand that part, but it's
That's what I was
kind
going
of
to say.
lacking
Go ahead.
the layers, right? And then the other thing too is the upgrades they did to Yote. It's like what you would normally do when you go from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2, from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3. Like why
Yes.
would you do that if you're creating a whole new character and a whole new like it doesn't click with me. And then when you start to find out little bits of information like what are the three games? So we have some of the writers that were part of
Oh,
Anthem,
yeah.
Andromeda, and Veilguard.
I mean,
Those games flopped.
they could have been the
Okay.
good writers. They could have been the ones
They
that were
could
left
have.
that were good. Like, you don't know.
But they wouldn't have gotten let go, huh?
Well, no,
You
the
know,
whole
so-
studio got fired. Like,
Oh, that's true. You're right.
they can't
You're
look
right.
and say, "Hey, studio, you're all fired," but writers, we want to keep you. No, like they can't do that. They all got gone. They all like.
And the other thing too is what's his name? Freaking Shadow Drops or whatever. I forget, but he uses this phrase, pattern recognition, right? And I'm like, oh, that's such a great term because we're not saying this is what's happening with Ghost of Yote, right? But we are noticing some patterns of recognition,
Oh, that's a good
patterns
point.
in this game that we have seen in Veilguard, Andromeda, games like that, right? So me not having all the information, but me having the experience that I do. I just posted today on my Discord that I've beaten so far up to this point 28 games, which is way less than I was doing last year, but I've also increased my multiplayer hours, so it checks out. But 28 games that I beat this year, 98 games that I beat last year, just in the last 2 years, I got over 130 games, or close to 130 games. Experience is telling me that there's something up. Like, your natural reaction wouldn't be, all right, guys, Ghost of Tsushima, we sold 10 million, 12 million, it's a hit. Let's go ahead and start with a fresh new character. Like, not even Infamous, not even none of their games, they all did a proper sequel and then they broke off.
Yeah.
Right? And I will say that with Sucker Punch, they have broken off to different characters, right? So
Sure.
that's something they do different. So that's the one thing that has me kind of hanging in there, right? It's
You just said doo-doo. Sorry.
I'm sorry, doo-doo. Hey, doo-doo. But it's something that they do, is they break off for different characters. It's never happened this quick. And for 5 years of development time, I just expected more when they went so off branch with it. And now when, like you said, Thrifty, they're swapping out the stances for the weapons, not really doing anything different there. The game looks the same. It just looks, if there's 1 tree per square mile, now there's 50 trees per square mile.
Sure.
I know that's a big range and a big size. I get it. I'm just giving you guys an example. So I understand that there's upgrades there. The game looks good. I'm not in love with the character. But for the people that accuse me that, I just don't want women, that's bullshit. Anybody who knows me knows I really don't give a
That's such
fuck.
a shitty argument, dude.
It's
Oh my
the
God.
shittiest argument.
It's so bad. So I was watching somebody else's stream that I hadn't watched in for freaking ever. And the moment I get on there, I hear this dude have to defend women in gaming, which, funny enough, when I stopped watching his channel, he was defending women in gaming because they were talking about Aloy and the Lego game and all this
Oh
other
my
stuff,
God.
and then the whole thing that Aloy looks too manly because of her strong jawline and all this other shit. All of it came back up, and I'm sitting here like, people don't understand that there are folks out there who would rather play a video game as if given the option as a yeah, it was Reforged.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
Because the female character is usually given more attention. It's
Yep.
given more care. Her physics are better, be it her hair or the jiggles, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Like, it's just better. They took more time on it. Like,
Yep.
those characters and then the voices are
Yep.
usually knockout, drag out perfect, where the
Yep.
dude is either a sniveling little bastard or he's some deep muscle mound man. Like, there's no
Yep.
range. But with a female, you get high pitch, you get low pitch, you get frickin' alto, you get all of these different ranges, and like they take so much care, it seems, with the female characters. And so, like, it only makes sense. So when you have dipshits going, you only like it because it's female, or I don't like it because it's a female character, I would look at you and seriously question your damn sanity, because Tomb Raider was
Mm.
iconic. The reboot of Tomb Raider are some of the best three games, talking about games that hold up.
Yep.
That whole fucking trilogy is
Dude,
absolutely
I
phenomenal.
just installed the Tomb Raider, the reboot today.
Oh
Literally,
my
I
god, it's
just
so
installed
good.
them again today.
I've beat the first and second one 3 times each because they are
Yeah.
so fucking well. I think it's the third one or the second one that I've beat 3 times. The one that has her sister in it, where you have to go at the end, you go up to the top and you have to fight like the big bad evil thing, and it's like this old spirit that's been trying to kill you the entire time you're on the damn island, and it's like it's so good the way they incorporate bow and weapons and bow and guns, and like it's so freaking good. And it's a female character. Like,
Yep.
holy crap. Stellar Blade, the game that everybody who played it was like, this game is fucking amazing. I thought I was going to hate this game. They play it, and what happens? They get into it, and they're like, this game is awesome. Eve is a great main character. The way they have developed this is fantastic. Everybody's praising the game. The developer comes out and says, you know what, the story was kind of lacking, and if we get a chance to make a sequel, we actually want to improve on the story of this one. And like, so you're sitting here and you're like, oh, all right, well, that's cool. Um, that's awesome. Okay, so you're gonna do something that we didn't even ask for. This is fucking great. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. May I have another? And let's keep going. Like, those type of things and those type of moments. I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry.
Well,
Those type
Thrifty,
of
can I
things.
say something too,
Yeah,
real
go
quick?
go ahead. Go ahead.
So and now I want to speak to the people that are looking forward to Ghost of Yote,
That's me.
right? Because I've been seeing this a lot. And it happens to me a few times already today, not even including for the last couple of days. But first off, you guys and gals who are attacking the people like me who have these criticisms about Ghost of Yote, when we talk about gaming conversation, what do you think you look like to somebody like me who, once again, knows the same information I do, but you're telling me this thing is going to be Gotti Game of the Year, this thing is, going to be better than Ghost of Tsushima. When you say these crazy outlandish things based on the information that I have, now my question to you is, do you have a copy of the game? Did you get an early script? And the point is like, we talk about having common, or gaming discussions, but yet whenever somebody says something that you don't like, you get defensive as well. So I just want to point that out because Ghost of Yote is showing a lot of that in the community, right? Because I think that when they created this game, Sucker Punch, when they created this game, to say that they had no idea this game was going to get criticized is completely ludicrous. They know this game was going to get criticized. That's why I'm hoping they can punch the critics like me in the mouth and put out a banger game and be like, see, you jumped the gun too early. You saw the wrong things. This is what we really have for you guys. Now we'll take our $70.
Hey, listen,
right?
bro. I'll be in your DMs immediately going, fuck off.
Yeah, and if it is, it is, right? But once again, there's nothing wrong with criticizing the shit that you like.
I know, I'm just
and
messing with
I've
you.
beaten Ghost 6-7 times. I've got the platinum for it. I have over, I don't even know how many I have in it, but I have played Ghost more than the average person has. So yeah, I am going to be critical about something that I really like.
Absolutely. All right. So let's move on to the next topic. We have been here for 2 hours. We have time for one more thing. We have covered one thing that was on the docket for tonight. One. Technically, we've covered two, and we talked a brief little bit at the beginning about a Kingdoms of Amalur sequel. So let's get into the next thing. And I will let everybody else choose, but real quick, I think it would be stupid for me not to do this right now before we get into like the last topic and all of that. I think it would be dumb for me not to do this. This is the last week of the Playground. That is a moniker that came during the height of everybody clowning on everybody and all of that. And it was a fun time. It was everything I ever wanted it to be. It was a place to come, hang out, talk about the console wars, have a great time with it, joke about it, and have a blast. Over the course of the past 3 years, though, the podcast has changed into something more laid back. We still have fun, we still cut up, but it's more just about average gaming. It's more, that's where the channel name came from. I literally stole it from something that Josh said. I know he wasn't the first one to coin this phrase, but something being aggressively average. I am not a hardcore gamer like Will. I don't put in 2,000 plus hours a year gaming. I don't have the lifestyle that affords that, so I don't do it. But I am not a casual gamer either. So I've decided to rename the channel Aggressively Average Gamer. I'm keeping my name the same. I'm still thrifty. That hasn't changed. I still buy games on sale. I still don't like paying more than $25 for a game unless it's one of the 3 brand new titles that I want per year. Like, none of that is... I'm still who I am. But the channel is evolving into something else, and I'm excited as shit to see it. And a lot of that is because of y'all. So, no, I coined it, get over it. That's funny. And so, we are changing up a few things. The Discord will still be, the server in the Discord, rather, will still be called The Playground. The other moniker for the server, the actual thing that you would search up or that it's going to be shared to, is this right here. And I am super excited about this. So let me hide this real quick. And y'all get to see it live here for the reveal of the new and improved, not improved, but the new and more refocused gaming podcast. Welcome, everybody, to the Gaming Den. We are here. We're going to have a blast. It's laid back. It's chill. It's awesome. We are here just to have conversations with one another, whether we agree or not. The next 8 weeks are fully packed. We have people on every single week. We have some new faces coming. And if I can figure out a way after those 8 weeks to have a show a couple hours earlier, I have some very, very special guests that have never been on the channel before that I am super excited about. So, real quick, just wanted to share this with y'all. The Gaming Den podcast will be the name going forward. So, super excited about that. This is something that I have talked with a couple of members of the community on. This is also something that one of the community's own has made the designs, the logos, everything. Shout out to Hero Down Under. No, nothing of this would have been done on this level. He has literally been back and forth with me when I couldn't decide on font. Like, the dude is freaking awesome. So shout out to Hero. Thank you so much. Also, couldn't do this really without, funny enough, Wara and Fornatron. Weirdly enough, if you know who Fornatron is, dude sent me a long-ass message, and I'm always of the mind that even if I disagree vehemently, I can still try to grab something of use from what was said. And so because of that, I grabbed the spot in there where he was like, hey man, it doesn't seem like you really promote the idea of thrifty and PlayStation and all that. It seems more like you're a dad who's trying to get as much gaming in as they can. And that's absolutely truth. That's absolutely the truth. And that was one of the lines in there that he had said that really stuck with me. And I was like, you know what? He's right. I'm not the aggressively hardcore 2,000, 3,000 hours a year gaming. I am the dude that's going to sit here and loves games and talk about games, and I can't wait to be here every week with y'all. And I'm going to play, sometimes I'm going to play 20 hours in a week like I did this week. Sometimes I'm going to play 7. My average is about 15 to 12. Like, And those are awesome. We need a dad gaming podcast called Parental Control. That would be fucking amazing. That'd be so good. Anyways, so moving forward, we're going to be called the Gaming Den. It's going to look different next week. I'm going to have a whole like platform and layout and all of that stuff, but I wanted to share with y'all the amazing work that was done by Hero, and I wanted to get this out right now, especially when it's blowing up tonight with 138 viewers at one point. Like, that's absolutely freaking wild. And Hero Down Under, speaking of, member for 13 freaking months. Been here, I believe, since the channel went live. Went live monetarily speaking. It has been a blessing to be a part of this community since I found Thrifty over 2 years ago, and y'all mean a lot to me, a whole lot. Man, we literally... I have people here that, like, when they're not here, I send them a message. Then there's several of y'all, especially if y'all are in the Discord, that get messages from me if y'all are not here, because it's weird. Like, we have been so ingrained that every Wednesday night I'm going to be able to talk to Josh, Wara, Hero, Steven, Corey. Like, all of you, just looking in the chat right now, all of y'all have been here for so long, and it is truly appreciative. I'm not trying to be a big channel. I'm not trying to be massive. I'm just trying to have a shit ton of fun, and if y'all want to follow along, please come on over. With all of that being said, I would be amiss, and it's kind of serendipitous to be thinking about it, but Will was my co-host for over a year, and then I decided, hey, I wanted to take it more in a realm of getting different people on every single week. And like, I wanted to move it over, and I wanted to have this different voices here every single week. And so it's very, very, very fitting that Will is actually on the send-off show of the Playground and the introductory show of the Gaming Den podcast. And so he had no idea this was going on. He had no earthly idea that this has been in the works for the past several months. And so... super excited that it just kind of worked out that way. And then Josh Ayers, member for 14 months. 14! I believe he was member number like 4. Happy to have my membership renewal on the final Playground. That is right, dude. It is the end of an era, but not the end of the show. And as it says, the show must go on. So, we're going to get into screw the king and rare stuff. That's some bullshit. AI is taking jobs. That fucking sucks. But I want to end with kind of a really cool tongue-in-cheek thing. And it's this right here. So let's end here because this is really, really, really good. Okay, hang on. Let me find this real quick. Okay. So 58-page Subnautica 2 lawsuit alleges Krafton broke contracts, sabotaged launch over $250 million payout in the name of its bottom line. Krafton has thrown its promises out the window and ripped the game from the hands of both its creators and its community. First of all, titles like this should be shortened to a TLDR. Anyways. That's like, make your title shorter. Let's just work on that. After that, this story is freaking wild. Y'all need to hear this shit. Okay? Y'all just need to hear this shit. The dispute between the former leadership of Subnautica 2 developer Unknown Worlds and new owner and publisher Krafton has intensified with the public release of a 58-page lawsuit filed by the studio's 3 ousted leaders. The suit claims that Krafton flagrantly breached both the letter and the spirit of the promise at the core of its agreement to purchase Unknown Worlds, in large part to deny a $250 million payout stipulated at the time of the $500 million acquisition. So basically, what was supposed to happen was if the game released and hit sales metrics in time, the studio heads were supposed, or the studio itself was supposed to get an additional $250 million. And instead, Krafton came in and said, and this is after a beta, by the way. This is after early access. This is after the game has been in the hands of players and works swimmingly. There's not a fucking thing wrong with the game. It works, it runs, it's great. Like, I was watching somebody talk about this, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? The game works, and we're doing this? Okay, cool. So, like, they basically said, hey, no, we're going to shelf the game. And now, because we're shelving the game, you're not hitting your deadline, you're not hitting your sales goal, and because of that, you're not getting your $250 million bonus. I'm sorry, what the actual hell? Like, Will, what you got, man? Like, you're in business too. Like, this would never. I would own the company I work for. Like, this is what.
Yeah, so we actually went over this on State of Gaming podcast, which is on my channel, and
On
but we
Sundays,
didn't have
right?
this
Saturdays.
much information on it on Sundays. But we didn't have this information. We just had the lawsuit and what both were accusing each other of doing.
Yeah.
But so my first instinct, right? And mind you, I don't give a fuck about big corporations, right? But my number one instinct was, why the fuck would Krafton buy freaking this studio for $500 million? Like, they make Subnautica. Like, what are they doing? And then the $250 million bonus. At first, I thought maybe the developer was doing what developers do, which is poor, shitty management. But then I thought about this more critically. Well, you've been in commission jobs most of your life. How many times did you get fucked out of commission?
Often.
Every single time.
Fucking
because
often.
every single year they change the metrics, they increase the year-over-year numbers, so now your goals are way higher and you're getting less money, right? So remember, Krafton is the same people that, I forget his name, but the guy who made the Callisto Protocol made him release his game, I believe it was 6 months or 8 months early, so they can get it out by the final quarter of the fiscal year, then in turn rushing him to do X amount of the game in X amount of time. They're coming out with a rush product, and you can tell as soon as you play that game that this thing was rushed. So that's who you're talking about, is that studio where they're willing to put profit over anything. And the fact that they even made this deal to begin with blew my mind. So of course they're going to do anything to get themselves out of it.
That's what I said back in the chat. So somebody, Nelson said, something seems off because no chance that game or the next 3 combined would make 250 million. Something doesn't add up. So here's what happened, okay? And this is pure speculation. This is allegedly, okay? So anything that comes forward, I cannot be held liable for in a court of law. This is allegedly. I'm going to sit down at a table. Hey, Will, you got this next game coming out, Subnautica 2, right? Yeah, man, it looks fucking amazing. Tell you what, I want to buy you. You tell me, hell no. No, we want to stay independent. Listen, I want to buy you for $500 million. I'll give you $250 million at purchase and then $250 million later if you hit this goal. Will sits there and Will's like, fuck, dude, we got this game in the bag. The game actually could release here in a few months. We're fine. This is going to be great. We can get this. Hell yeah. They do it. The other company, Krafton, is sitting there going, yeah, I don't think these motherfuckers can do this. I don't think they're going to hit it. There's no way. There's no way. They can't be that far along. They can't be that far along at all. They come in. Oh, we're going to get to that, Corey. They come in, and then they say, huh, oh, shit. They're actually about to hit the goal. What the fuck are you talking about? Sir? This is Steve from Quality Control comes in and goes, sir? The game's actually running really well on our early access. Steve, what do you mean the game's running well? Sir, it's actually really great. People are loving it. It's going to be a smashing success. Oh, shit. All right, fuck it. We got to shelf it. Like, I think that that's exactly what happened. That they gave this big, huge number to get the signature, and then afterwards, just like on a home loan, if you're not careful, they will do what's called a balloon payment, where after 5 years of paying that bitch, you get re-rated at the current interest rate, which might raise your payment by $600 a month. Like, these are real shitty-ass sales tactics that I am watching. Like, so I sold cars before, right? Will and I've talked about this many times before. I used to sell cars. And, like, this is the crappiest of the low sales tactics that I have ever seen. Like, this is promising the world and delivering nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. You didn't even give them the free floor mats that you told them you would. You didn't get nothing. So, like, it's absolutely freaking crazy. Like, and so I super, super hope the developers win because honestly, it's very, very comical to me that like they did this whole thing and didn't think that smart developers would notice. They're like, wait a second, we can just tell them they're fired, shelf the game. We're the publisher. We can do whatever we want with it. And
Dude, you're the Subnautica developer. You're like, dude, we hit the fucking lotto. We're gonna get all been doing? Fuck yeah.
yes,
I will be working day and night to get this fucking shit done. I'd be in there fucking drawing pictures on the wall. I'd be out there with a janitor fucking throwing garbage out just to get this shit done on time. But that's the logical sense, right? But let's take it on the other side too real quick, because let's not act like we haven't seen this before.
Yeah.
Maybe not to this extent, and maybe not specifically $250 million. But what's that studio that Xbox bought with Hellblade?
what do you
Damn.
mean?
The studio that Xbox bought.
Shit, Ninja Theory?
Ninja Theory.
There you go.
What was Ninja Theory doing when they got that bag? You saw this motherfucker in the French fucking sea with fucking 35 models and shit, popping champagne while the game wasn't even being worked on. Talking about, yeah, well, no, we're taking landscapes in Switzerland, Ireland, or wherever. They took, and look what they came out with, a 6-hour game. Right? So we have seen this before where on the opposite side, where a studio gets the bag, they don't know how to act, and they're out here. And that dude, I mean, shout out to him, bro. He was living life. He was out in the French Alps, you know what I'm saying, with a whole bunch of models, you know, smoking joints and shit, having the time of their lives, right? So I can understand, you know, and we see this in our everyday work, you know, day-to-day work, right? Where the shitty employee who's always taking smoke breaks or is always on the phone, you know, you have to pick up his slack. You know, we see that as well. But so we have to find out exactly what's going on. But I'm like 90% sure that the Subnautica dudes,
Yeah.
think about it, they're making a freaking survival game. You know what I mean? Like, to make a survival game, you really have to have patience, skill, you know, because there's so
Logic.
much that goes into making that damn game. Because you pick up a freaking rock, it could mean saving your ship or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they're the nerds of the nerds, you know, and I don't think that the nerds of the nerds are gonna be giving away this opportunity based on my life experience, you know. But who knows? But we'll see. It's
That's
gonna
what
be
I'm talking
exciting.
about, man. They what? Oh shit! Oh no! Don't do that. Dude, my whole browser just like said problem with server, and like my eyeballs went down to the stream, and I was like, please don't, not
Grafton's
tonight,
listening, bro.
not tonight, not tonight. And that was wild because okay, let me get to what Steven said. Steven, member of 13 months. I love being here too. It's like family to me. I care for you all. Gaming is a hobby, but it brought us all together. Glad you give this old gamer a voice, dude. I'm glad you come on, man. Your voice in this, you have years and experience that I don't have. And that's great. It's like when I talk to some of the younger crowd, right? Like, because I'm on light duty right now, they have me working at the warehouse, which is absolutely the worst thing you can do to a field technician. But they're making it to where I can still get hours while my Achilles heals. Achilles heel. Anyways, I didn't mean to do that. But, like, I have to school these people when they're like, oh man, this game is so cool. This music. Today it was music. They're like, oh, this music's so awesome. And I was like, you do realize that like there was a group in the 90s that did this already, right? Like the whole fast rap thing, that's not new. Yes, Jid and Eminem did their thing on their new song, but like that's not new. That's something that's been out for a long ass time. Like I can give you many people, Twister, Bone Thugs and Harmony, like those fools can like rap circles like around most of the new rappers now. They were like, who's Bone Thugs and Harmony? I've heard of them. And I was like, oh dear God. So like there is a wealth of knowledge that can be had from even just a gamer who's 5-10 years older. Because you got to remember, guys, gaming moves in 5-6 year intervals. Gaming moves so fast. Like like I said, I just started playing on PC, and already I can tell, like, oh shit, okay, so like a PC can push games, older games specifically, way further than consoles can. Because if I played Arkham Origins on my PS3, it'll look a lot rough. But playing it on PC, it doesn't, right? So like we have the ability to not only go back in time with gamers who are even just 5, 6 years, 7 years older than us, that I think that we need to and this is something that applies to like all culture. Like, we do a very bad job of listening to our elders, and hearing the stories that they have to tell us so we don't repeat the same mistakes. Every generation that's come after has always thought that they've had it figured out, and even in gaming, that their games are the best, that their games are this, their games are that. When we just mentioned earlier, old games that still hold up, Final Fantasy VI is still one of the best stories you're going to get. Like, Chrono Trigger is still one of the best games you're going to play. Like, those type of games still hit. Super Mario World. Let's go with a freaking platformer that's not a JRPG. Like, Super Mario World, Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past. These games are so preserved and so well done that history will continue to tell their story. But there's other games out there that don't get the same kind of love. Like a Bad Dudes. When I say Bad Dudes, only like 10% of people who are probably listening to this right now know what the hell I'm talking about. And it's because that was a little arcade game that became a regular Nintendo game, and it never got a sequel, didn't really go that far. It was a Double Dragon type of clone almost. And so, like, anyways, Steven got me off on something all touchy-feely and shit, but like, seriously, we should listen more to our elders. We should listen more to the generation that came behind us in what we're doing going forward, because they can look at us and go, hey, you know what? I saw this shit back in the day. You won't believe. And I don't know why they became a Southern smoker, but like, mm-hmm. That's right. What's up, Innate? Like, those type of things are what really sets us. It can set us apart from others who don't listen to the wisdom of the eld, right? Not old, but older. When you decide that, no, I know best and I know everything that's best, as you get older, you go Southern. That's right. But as you get older, you gain experience and you gain knowledge, and that shouldn't be shit on because you're older. Now, granted, as a 20-year-old, as a 25-year-old, yeah, bro, you have no earthly idea what you're talking about. You are a complete moron. But once you hit 30, then you start looking to people who are older and going, hey, man, listen, I just bought a house, and I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing on any of this. What you got? Because, like, they're the ones who are supposed to come and pour into your life. And they're the ones that have been set there for you to be poured into by. Like, that's their role. The older generation trains the younger. That's how this works. And at some point, we forget that because, no, I'm better and I know more because I'm younger. Like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard of in my life, because that doesn't apply anywhere else. Anyways, sorry. I went off on a tangent there because that's what we do here. We call it Thrifty's Therapy Corner. It's a whole thing. Like, been doing that for years. Anyways, Will, what the fuck were we talking about?
Crafton, Subnautica.
Crafton, yes. So, Josh in the chat had said it's wild that they were praising Crafton recently for saving the Hi-Fi Rush studio, Tango Gameworks, right? Like, we were literally podcast everywhere. We're like, yay, Crafton, good job, you saved them. And now we're all sitting here going, Crafton, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like, really?
And dude, two things can be true at once. You know what I mean? This isn't, I understand, but it's human. we do things that we regret all the time, and just because they're fucking Subnautica, I mean, I wouldn't want to them, right? Because if they're willing to do that for that, what about me when I get to that point? But yeah, it's a shitty practice, But we're in a world now. Studios are opening and closing, publishers are buying and selling, and it's the wild wild west in gaming. Everybody talks about cost and expenses, but yet money flying out the fucking window. So, look, I leave all that shit to them. I worry about what I can control.
Corey.
Am I buying this game day one or not? And if I am I buying it new? Do I want to support the studio, or do I want to buy a pre-owned and not? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that really is what's it. Like, this studio got screwed. I'm not going to say they didn't. I feel like fully they did. Subnautica 2 was going to come out. It was going to do gangbuster numbers. It was going to be better than the banana game. It was going to, Steam players buy random ass games. Trust me. Going through the Steam catalog, you see a lot of random ass games. And you're like, hey, where's all the titles that I normally see on, PlayStation sales? They're there. All the big heavy titles are there, but you have to weed through a list of shit. Just a list of obscure titles. Subnautica broke that and actually was a really good game and really well received by people. I have not played it, but that's why I'm saying it was really well received. So Subnautica 2 was probably going to do really, really well. I feel it's a hard case to win in court. I don't think so. I think that they will be able to see the intent, and it's going to be absolutely crazy because you're going to.
I think this is actually easier.
I think it's easy
because you have the documentation, you got the metrics. You can get experts in there that can say, hey, if you're doing a character, it should take you 3 days to do based on what they were doing. They were ahead by this, or I think you can. I think it'll be
I think it'll
open
be
and
easy.
shut case.
Yeah, I really do. I think it's going to be super easy. Because you can see where the problem comes in is when you give somebody else control over how you make your money, okay? So what I mean by that is when Krafton came in and said, hey, we'll give you an extra $250 million for this property if you can get it out on time, but then the contract is going to state that they get to decide when it comes out. Those two things make you completely and utterly... Whoa! What's up, Jess? Those two things make you completely powerless in that scenario. So, they may be able to get out on a technicality for contractual obligation, or contractual whatever the fuck words you want to use there. I don't know. I'm not a freaking lawyer. But, at the end of the day, I'm hoping that the judge can go, okay, so yes, we definitely understand letter of the law, they signed the contract, but intent, y'all screwed them over. I'm hoping that that's what it is, and Jez this is the real Jez, not the fake one. Jez7780 grinds my gears gaming, Grindhouse, yo, Thrifty and the Grinders. That is right, we are here, and Jez, in case you missed it, we have a new name for the podcast. The Gaming Den. That is right. We are the Gaming Den. And so, with that, I think we'll hit it on the head. I don't need to beat this topic anymore. It's there. It's over. I hope beyond hope. I kid you not. I hope so much that the Subnautica 2 dev team wins this. I really fucking do. I can't wait. I hope that they win so freaking bad. It's unreal how much I hope they win. I am so big on, hey, let's let the little guy win and not get screwed over. Because at work, as a service technician, we're not the lowest on the totem pole, but we're definitely not the highest, so sometimes we have to do shit that sucks. And I so badly just want to see the little guy win here that I can't even taste it. I will be following up on this story as it unfolds because it is awesome. Real quick, I think we have... Will, do you have a little bit of time left? Or do you got to go?
I got a little bit of time.
A little bit of time. Okay, did you play Kingdoms of Amalur?
No, I don't even know what that is, dude.
Oh my god, okay. So... Oh, shit. Okay. Hang on. Kingdoms of Amalur. Uh, development story. Development story. Yeah, hey, there we go. It's right here. Okay, so history lessons, real quick. R.A. Salvatore, my favorite author, wrote the story, okay? Wrote the whole story for it. R.A. Salvatore is the reason why we have Dritz de Warden in D&D. He is the one who created the Forgotten Realms. That's all his baby, all of it. So, like, this game spoke to me even when it came out a long time ago because I loved Dungeons and Dragons and R.A. Salvatore and Dritz de Warden. Like, absolutely phenomenal. Also, Kurt Schilling, famous baseball player, pitcher.
Baseball player.
Yep, was the head of the studio.
Oh,
And
that was that game.
That was that game. Correct.
Oh, wow. I thought they went bankrupt or something.
They absolutely did go bankrupt.
Oh,
because
my bad.
everything cost so much damn money, and they overspent, and they did so much that the game, like, let me do this. Kingdoms of Amalur game sales. I think it sold like 2 or 3 million, if I'm not mistaken. It was stupid.
Yeah, Kurt Schilling at the time was like the highest paid pitcher in MLB baseball, so
Yeah.
he was trying to double up.
Okay, so it was
And
a
he saw
brand-
that game. He was a future.
Yeah, so it was a brand new IP, right? 1.3 million copies in the first 90 days. It sold 410 million copies in retail. 38 studios faced financial difficulties and filed bankruptcy despite sales success. Like, because of behind the scenes bullshit. Yeah, Forgotten Realms is absolutely phenomenal. They took funding from the state government. Yes, they did. And they could not pay it back fast enough, if I think that's what happened, so they had to file bankruptcy. But we now have, let me pull it up real quick for y'all because this is exciting. So basically it was an action RPG, right? You start off, and tell me if you've heard this story before, you start off by somebody who has no memory of who the fuck they are or where the fuck they came from, and you were brought back to life in some machine. Kind of sounds Souls-like to me. Like,
Very.
you're just, like, I went back to play it after they re-released it a couple years back, and I was like, oh, this sounds like a Souls game. Like, just the first, like, 2 hours. I was like, huh, I don't remember that part. But that's when, like, you do your character creation, you do all of your other stuff, but it sounds super Souls-like in the way the story is. So, here we go. An actual sequel to Kingdoms of Amalur. It might actually be happening if the new trademark from publisher THQ Nordic is anything to go by. Eagle-eyed Reddit user Tazeb. Now, this is, we don't normally cover rumors, just to let y'all know. Spotted said trademark on the European Union's database. It's just been approved, having been registered on the 1st of July. The trademark itself is for Fate Keeper, which is where the immediate Kingdoms of Amalur links are coming from. Those who have played the action RPG will know that its whole story revolves around the power of fate. Your main character is unlocked from the concept, allowing them to rewrite the fantasy world's future. That's how you're able to come back to life, because you defy fate. You know, and y'all can't see this. Listen, guys, if we get 1,000 subscribers on here, I will put a green screen up, and I will get a camera, and y'all will actually see my face, because y'all are missing all the lovely hand gestures of an ADHD person, and they are absolutely fire. Like, you can't see me do air quotes right here, but I did them. Those who have played the action RPG, the whole story revolves around fate, and yeah, so your character defies that fate because you live again. Right? Like, you didn't fully die. So, it's worth mentioning that there's some additional weight to all of the speculation. A couple years back, Kato Games, the developer behind Kingdoms of Amalur 2020 Remaster and its Fate-Sworn expansion, revealed that it was hiring for a new project based on an existing property. I am so fucking excited. Zero Steel, bro, we were at 138 earlier. I shit you not, bro. It has been a wild-ass night. It has been absolutely crazy. I just need folks to get in here and hit the like button. Oh, shit. Dude. Conquer. Thank you. Conquer. Okay, here we go. So, Will, you said you don't know anything about this. The chat, some people are really excited. I do have to get to this super chat because it is a great way to end. Okay, so do you like action-adventure games? God of War
Yep.
style.
Yep.
Okay, so picture that with. You ever played World of Warcraft?
No, but
Okay.
I know what it is, and I've seen
Okay,
gameplay.
so you've seen the gameplay. Picture
Hmm.
those graphics a little bit better, and that's what you're doing. You're playing a single player version of that almost. Is the best
Mm,
comparison I can give.
interesting.
It's dude, if they make a fucking sequel to this, I will be there day one, night one. I might fucking take off for work for it. Like I would be so hyped for a sequel for Kingdoms of Amalur that I would absolutely take off. As long as it is a direct sequel and not some of this bullshit where we're just gonna use we're gonna use certain things from the original. No, 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 no. I want a direct fucking sequel. Like, don't give me some bullshit. Give me a direct sequel. I will be so happy. So, here's the deal though. We have a $2 super chat that I did not get to, and that's my bad. So here's the super chat from Conquer218. Okay, it says this. Let me find it. It says this. Do y'all believe in another Xbox next gen? Now, I'm Conquer. I'm guessing. Thank you for the $2. I am guessing that you mean, do we think there will be an actual console box? Yes, I think that's what you think, or that's what you're asking. I do not think so. I do not think there will be another box. I have said this repeatedly. That stance has not changed at all. I will not change that stance. Xbox has waved the white flag. They are no longer in the market. They're outsourcing everything. They're getting rid of the QA teams. They're getting rid of the family engagement teams. They're getting rid of all this shit that would only matter if you're trying to create your own and develop your own platform. I think they're done completely. They are outsourcing everything, and they are already going into the stance of we are a full third-party publisher, and we have covered this numerous, numerous times. I have no doubt in my mind that that's where they're going. Will, what do you say?
I think that they're always going to have something to have if people want to get something. As far as will they be competitive with like PlayStation, Nintendo? No, they're just going to have whatever basic thing they can get their hands on that's at least up to par with something. But yeah, nothing like we're going to invest billions of dollars in research and development. None of that shit. I think they're just going to push it together and put it out just to have an available option. You know what I mean? Not to compete, but just to have
So,
something for the people who want to be in the Xbox.
so with that available option, though, do you think that they will have an actual console, and do you think it's going to improve from the Series X forward, or do you think they're going to use like the Series S as the thing that keeps growing? So like the next Series S, quote unquote, will be like a Xbox just a little bit beefier, like a Series X just a bit beefier.
Well, we know that the Series S is the best selling of the two boxes. So, yeah, I'm guessing they're going to do something that's as close to the Series S as possible. Just enough to run Game Pass and whatever bullshit games they want to put on there. Now, mind you, that they have this, I forget what it's called, but if it runs on the S Series X, it's got to run on the Series S rule that they have. I think that they're going to make it strong enough where developers don't skip out on them, but not powerful enough to where they compete. It'll be something similar to the Series S because that's what the Xbox gamer wants. They
So
want cheap hardware with Game Pass.
I'll say this: the rumor is that they are actually going to be dropping the parity clause. That's that's the rumor, is that they're
They're only going to have
dropping
one.
that.
They're only going to have one box.
Right. That's why. So like, but with what they're going to already with the handheld, I don't think that we're gonna see another console next gen. I think that at best, and hear me, anybody in the 119 people, 120 now who are still here, hear me when I say this. I think the best thing you're going to get if you're an Xbox fan is a handheld for the next 2 to 3 years, and then after that, a re-emergence into the console sector. If they can make enough money by selling all their games everywhere else. Like, that's kind of where I think it's going to go. They're going to take some time off. They're going to not release anything that's first party, so to speak, in the sense of it's not an in-house item. They're going to do the handhelds. They're going to try to grow that market. that Jez posted not too long ago that they are, like, I think a couple days ago, he posted that now a few games with Game Pass Ultimate Game Pass PC, or no, Game Pass Ultimate will be allowed to be played if you own it on a console through the cloud, which is kind of what the PlayStation allows us to do already with PlayStation Portal, but it's all via cloud and not via a PlayStation that you already own. So, like, there are some differences. It does require a subscription. PlayStation Portal, I don't believe, does. But, like, they are moving forward in that direction, and I think that what we're seeing right now is them continuing to outsource things and close down departments that are no longer needed. And so,
Well, Thrifty, you have to think too that I mean, look, Xbox still sold over 30 million consoles. That's still a huge base, right? They're not going to give up on that right away. Now, handheld is fine, but even the companies that does handheld the best, their numbers aren't good. I mean, Steam is what, 3-4 million sold, 5 million, something like that, which is they're the most behind Nintendo, and Xbox has nowhere near the IP for that. So they're not going to do a full transition and miss out on over 25 million possible customers. Even if they could retain half of that, right? Which I think they'll do more than half, but even if they retain half, those people aren't going to want to do handhelds, so they're going to have something, whether it's, I don't know, maybe the Amazon Fire Stick kind of deal thingy, but I just don't think they'll cut loose the console
dongle for
yet.
your dingle.
Yeah, dongle for your dingle.
That's right. So the Gaming Grindhouse, Jez, said they need a cloud-only tier. I'm guessing you're talking about for Game Pass, but yes. I actually agree with that. Like, that would be the best thing for them. And honestly, PlayStation could actually take that route too. Like, hey, listen, they're not doing anything with premium. Let's just be fucking honest. Premium is a fucking joke. But they could say, and this is what they use premium for right now, like, if you don't have premium, you can't play cloud on the portal. And so that's really the main draw that I have if I keep premium, which I'm coming up for renewal here in like 3 days, and I don't decide if I'm keeping it or not. I don't want it. I don't really use it. But, like, yeah, cloud only for $5. Hey, I'd even say cloud only for $8, right? Like, you can access the cloud via your portal for $8 a month. I think that right there is a great entry point. It sells the portal, gets it out faster, and it gives you a reason to purchase it without having to have a PS5, which people have complained about, especially early on, that, like, oh, the portal, but you need a PS5, so it's not really a handheld, and blah, like, so, like, you like, get rid of all the bull crap and just say, cool, you can play these games. But yes, Xbox, I see that, Josh. That's why I was saying that Xbox is a good idea for them as well, because, like, getting a cloud only tier and make that cloud only tier universal. Don't do the whole bullcrap where it's like, oh, we have a different library if you're cloud on PC versus cloud on handheld versus cloud on Xbox versus whatever. Like, make it just one universal fucking library. Don't make it to where you have to have X amount of here or X amount here, and then move forward with that. But, like, as far as the actual question from Conquer, which, hey, Conquer, with the next $2, man, he is climbing up the experience points ladder. Holy shit. Hence why I said only PS6 and Switch 2 will remain. Yes, that's kind of my thought, but here's the problem. Hero pointed it out earlier. The market needs competition. It does. It absolutely 100% does. There is not a time in gaming over the past 35 years that I've been really gaming that I can remember there not being competition outside of when the first Nintendo came out. And to be honest, the competition for the first Nintendo was the PC, was the in-home PC. It was the Mac. It was the floppy disk, the 5.5-inch floppy disk that had Commander Keen on it, and tank battle or tank wars, I think is what the game was called. It's where like you fired a tank across the damn screen. It was a dot matrix setup. Like that whole freaking thing, like that whole freaking setup was the competition that Sony had, or not Sony, sorry, Nintendo had. So there has not been a time in gaming where there has not been a direct competitor to another company. And we know right now that neither one, Xbox or PlayStation, view Nintendo as a competitor. Both have said that openly, and both have admitted that. That's fine. That's well and good. I wouldn't want to go up against Nintendo either. Like, the fact that they got people right now talking about the Switch 2 like it's God's gift to gaming tells me I don't want to go up against Nintendo because they have some kind of magical voodoo that I don't have, and I don't want to mess with that. So, like, people don't mess with Nintendo. We need Sony to have some sort of fucking competition that actually tries and tries hard and not just says, hey, we're learning every 30 seconds and every time you turn around, or to not tell me that it's raining while you're peeing down my leg with the whole bullcrap that 30 frames per second is a creative decision. Shut up, because in 6 months you're going to give those players 60 frames per second in a different mode and call it an enhancement or an update or whatever, just to cover the fact that you weren't ready to actually launch the game, but you had to launch the game because Game Pass. Like, you cannot tell me this. 30 frames per second is also juicy. Yeah, so like, they need better competition. They need 1,000% competition at minimum. They need better competition than Xbox. Like, look at what's happening at PlayStation right now. PlayStation's doing some off-the-wall shit. Like, sending over Helldivers 2. That's weird. That's fucking weird that nobody can explain right now. None of us understand that one. None. Xbox guys don't get it. They're just taking victory laps. PS guys don't get it. We're just sitting here going, I have no fucking idea what you're talking. Like, that makes no sense to me. I don't know. My brain has now glitched. I don't get it. Like, they need better competition. And unless we get somebody like Apple or Amazon jumping in the mix, we will not be getting it from Xbox. And so, anyways, also, what's up, Brian East? We got some people up in here. Oh my gosh. All right, Will. I hate to end these things, but Herman lost a bet on the yacht.
Could have been.
That's probably true. What if? Okay, Will, have you seen the TV show Blacklist?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I know of it, but yeah.
Okay. What if there's this big, huge, like, cabal that is just sitting there running all of the gaming industry and just like, okay, Xbox, you got to take an L for the next, like, 5 years. PlayStation, you're going to succeed for the next 5 years. Nintendo, we're going to have y'all do some shady shit where people just, like, absolutely love y'all but get screwed by y'all at the same exact time that they're loving y'all. It's going to be weird, but you're going to love it. Like, what if all of this shit is just being controlled by some, like, outside thing, and Herman was on a yacht somewhere and was like, you know what? Hey, Phil, let's make a bet. I bet Halo Infinite versus Helldivers 2. Let's go ahead and see what we can do there. How about that? Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, Phil won the game of shuffleboard on the yacht. Listen, with how old Phil looks right now, it would not surprise me. Buying up the major publishers isn't a competition. PS has nothing to compete directly against since PS pushed them out of console. MS never wanted to actually compete. Nintendo likes cheap budgets.
PlayStation didn't push anybody out. Xbox pushed their own damn selves out. They screwed it up themselves.
Man, so yes, but I understand what he's saying. Like, PlayStation absolutely beat the brakes off of them, but I don't think it was the money hatting or any of the other copes that the Xbox fans would like to give you. I just think PlayStation
Xbox turned down Spider-Man.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, come
Thank
on.
you.
No, they They
That's what
just
I'm
make
saying.
every decision was
Yep.
incorrect. TV was 10 years too fucking early. The Kinect being forced to be bundled together, another mistake.
You
The whole
can't trade your
fucking
games.
online, like they just made terrible fucking mistakes. And like Phil said, I don't want to. I don't want to agree with Phil where he said that the Xbox One was the worst console generation to lose.
But it was.
The 360 was the worst console generation to lose.
But they didn't lose that one. They tied it. One had 86, the other one had like, well,
PlayStation
no.
1, and you got to think a lot of those sales from Xbox were because of the Red Ring of Death.
Crackhead.
They probably got 10, 15 million sales because of that.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Like you're not wrong. They still came in third. That's what Josh just said. Like they still came in third.
They did, yeah.
It's messed up, man. Like shit. But no, guys, we want competition. We're not sitting here screaming die Xbox. We're sitting here screaming Xbox is dead. There is a difference. One is making you aware of the situation going on, and the other one is wishing for something bad to happen. Like, there's a difference. I don't want Xbox to go away and die. I wanted them to be, well, now I kind of do. I wanted them to be better for the longest time. I have asked them to be better, and it hasn't happened. And I've been told, wait until next year, wait until next year, wait until next year, wait until next year, for 4 years now, and now the games that they were being told to wait until next year for just got canceled. Perfect Dark, gone. Everwild, gone. Rare, resorted down to a freaking studio that's being replacing its members by AI that those members helped freaking build.
Forza.
Halo Infinite, being 343 Studios being rebranded as Halo Studios. Like, there's so much uncertainty right now within the Xbox walls that people are so one of the topics we had for tonight was the Rare, the head of Rare coming out, and they were supposed to talk about the new updates for Sea of Thieves. And he comes out and he has to lead this thing in the open like, hey guys, listen, I know we're here to talk about Sea of Thieves, but with what just recently happened, we in good conscience basically can't come out here and talk about Sea of Thieves and all the cool updates that we have for y'all because some of the people who worked on this shit are no longer here. Like, we lost teammates. We lost people who actually did work on the game, who were here and did this, and it's hard, and people are uncertain, and everything is in flux right now, and we don't really know what's going on. And, like, they're dealing with this, and you hear honestly, what it sounds like, you hear the ramblings of a manager who is having to deal with what the owner of the company is telling him to do. And he's like, I really don't have a good response for this. Like, that's what it felt like to me when I was reading some of the stuff that he was saying in his opening. Like, he doesn't have a good response to this. He doesn't have a way to look at you and go, hey, listen, it really sucks. Like, he doesn't have the Phil Spencer ability to spin anything and everything, or the Sarah Bond ability to like change the subject and make you think that you made a full transition into a new topic. Like, he just didn't have that ability. So he's like, yeah, this fucking sucks. This is absolutely awful. And that's the shit you get with Xbox. That's what's happening right now over there, and it's absolutely disgusting that they would deal with that and that they would have to go through that. And so, like, I understand losing your job to a more like industrial approach. I get that. It happened once in our country where in the Industrial Revolution literally took people's jobs because they could now automate screwing a cap onto a toothpaste tube, and they didn't need somebody to actually do that for them anymore because they were able to automate that. And so people lost their jobs during that, and they adapted, and I'm sure the industry will adapt and all of that. But, like, that is a screwed up situation from a company that gives two fucks about the people who work for them. It's like when you're at a job. Will, tell you, I know you've seen this. You have a manager, right? That manager is training up somebody else to be their assistant manager, only to find when that person takes the job, hey, guess what? The manager's actually now fired. The person they trained up is now the manager, and bada bing, bada boom, you have new leadership. Like, that shit happens. And it's just as messed up in those scenarios as it is here. Anyways.
Well, the thing with the Xbox is that it doesn't matter if you do good or bad, you get let go. So there's no way to gauge it. You can't be like, you know what, I'm gonna go into work early today, put some extra effort. The whole studio's gonna do this, right? We really want to get ahead of this thing. It doesn't matter. You'll be let go. Whatever reason they have, whatever excuse they give you, doesn't matter. So that's the real thing about Xbox that is fucking everything up. Because imagine what the morale is right now over on Xbox.
Oh god, dude,
it's through the ground.
It has to be bad, man. Has to be. I just it's frustrating to see, and it's not just okay. So somebody loses their job because of redundancies. You buy a studio, whatever. You already have 55 graphic engineers. You don't need the 8 that were at the studio. You fire 4 of them. Whatever. Fine. Redundancies I can explain away. Sure, that happens in every acquisition. We know that. But to fire somebody because AI took their job, the same AI that they've been building to help with the development process to get games out faster, like, that's fucking wild. Like, that's absolutely crazy. Why the hell would you do that? It would be hilarious if Gabe Newell starting his villain arc. That would be really funny. Also, what's up, Savage to Web? What's up, man? Glad to see you here. All right. So, closing thoughts. Will, give us a game that you give us just one. I know it's hard for you. Give us just one game over the next 30 days. So, between now and August 16th that you're looking forward to. If you need some time, I can go ahead and go with mine.
Yeah, go first.
Okay, so I have decided that because Lost Soul Aside does not come out until the 28th, and I need something to play between now and the 28th, I am absolutely going to pick up Mafia, the new one that's coming out, the one that's like $50, $60. I'm gonna grab that. I was excited when they showed the trailer. I was excited with every trailer I've seen since, and I'm absolutely super excited. And Josh reminded me last week that that was one of the games that I was really, really looking forward to, because in the chat he was like, well, Thrifty, what about Mafia, the old country? And I was like, oh, dude, forgot completely about that. So I'm excited. That's a game I'm looking to pick up. It comes out on August 8th. I have 20 days to play it, beat it, and do all of that. And I'm actually really excited. Yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds came at a time when my car decided to need half its engine rebuilt. So, and you knew that actually. And so because of that, I did not buy it at the time. So that's what happened with that. When you get half of an engine rebuilt, it's kind of expensive. So because of that, I took time to not buy video games. And then by the time I got everything and did all that, other games have come out since. And as far as I've been told, I didn't miss anything by not playing Monster Hunter. Oh well, yeah, absolutely. Conquer 218 with the 10. Oh my God, Steven, he's coming for your spot. I wish Xbox was a strong competitor. I really, really do. But they have shown me they can't create anymore. They only buy and destroy. They have no taste. I'm glad PlayStation obliterated Xbox. Just say you were not playing it. No, I mean, yeah, that's what I just said. I'm not buying it now. Other things have come out, and other things have my attention. Like, I'm not hiding from that. I'm not playing it. Did I finish DS1? No, you must have missed that. We've already discussed why I didn't finish DS1. Interesting. Okay, so Will, what do you have anything left to say?
Yeah, Monster Hunter sucks.
Okay.
2. I was gonna say Mafia, but you picked it. But another thing I want to highlight about Mafia, which is very important actually, is there's a 10-minute video game clip out there from IGN or one of these big people. It looks fire. But this is gonna be very interesting because a $50 game at a time where they're trying to go to 80. Yeah. I'm really excited to see what that game's gonna do, and I hope that it it does well, right? I hope that the game is good. I hope it's like a mini version of Expedition 33, where it overcomes what people are expecting of it, expectations. I hope that it is something of some meat on the bones, right? Not just some quick bullshit. But I hope that it really does really, really well for a couple different reasons. But the other game that I'm looking forward to is actually not even a new game. I'm looking forward to Gears of War Reloaded, baby. Can't wait to get my hands on that on the PS5.
So Jez scared the shit out of me with that game after seeing how the multiplayer ran or lack thereof. Like that scared the shit out of me.
No, I don't give a shit about the multiplayer. That story is where it's at.
So I swapped because I was high on both Gears of War and Mafia, both actually, and after seeing the trailers and the reveals for both of them respectively. And so I was like, you know what? Realistically speaking, I have time for one of them in August because, like I said, at the end of August, August 28th, that shit's blocked out. That's Lost Soul Aside. Until October 4th, I think it is, it's Lost Soul Aside. And so, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that, Steven. Don't say it's going to be mid. Please don't. Looks like the same old Mafia. Well, Mafia 1 was really fun. Like, yeah. Mafia 2 was pretty good. Mafia 3 I did not like. But, like, I think... So hey, what is up, Lady Gamer 1980? Also, Warawana with the $2. Finished Metaphor yet? Waiting on that review. I have not finished Metaphor yet, but I am getting closer. It is also one of the games that is in rotation. I have not locked myself down to any single game over the past couple months since I beat Expedition 33. And it's because I am playing literally a different game almost every single day. And it's been really fun. Now, like, I do a rotation, obviously. Like, I'm not playing 10 different games, but I have about 6 that I'm rotating through. And some of them are games like Balatro. I've been playing Minecraft with my children. That's actually been really fun. My 11-year-old has gotten to be like the old gamer in that scenario where he's like, hey, Dad, you got to come down here and you got to get to level -47. And once you do, we can start mining diamonds. And then once you do that, we can Hero, I get it.
Elden Dragon.
Yeah, like we can know the Ender Dragon is what you're talking about. No, you have to. Apparently, you have to go to like a different realm, and you got to get this and that, and you got to beat these things. And like, dude, my son knows all of this shit, and like, it's insane. I need to. If I trusted people more on the internet, which I don't, I would have him stream the game with me. But I'm terrified. Like, no. But, like, been playing that. I've been playing, like I said, Balatro. I've been playing Metaphor. I've been playing, now Batman Origins. Dabbled in Overcooked 1 and 2. Like, messed with those after y'all had talked about them. Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy IX. Yeah, so I've been kind of all over the place playing a bunch of different titles. And it's been a blast. Like, literally getting these things out, having a great time with them, just playing and having fun, like, that's been great. I am jumping through so many things. I'm getting to celebrate with my friends who are playing Death Stranding 2, instead of being like a gatekeeper and being like, oh, Death Stranding, I'm not playing it, it doesn't speak to me. Like, instead I'm just like championing it with them. Like, dude, Nate posted something where he built like all these fucking roads and like got them to level 2 and all of that on the Cairo network. And, like, that's awesome. They look gorgeous. And, like, I'm seeing Woolie's post on it. And it's just been really fun to watch and to celebrate gaming with these other people, even though I'm not in that game with them. So, yeah, that's honestly what I've been doing. I've been playing a shit ton of titles. I'm not nailing myself down because, like I said, something unlocked with me when I played Expedition 33. And it made me just want to drink from the fire hydrant of my library that I have. And I've purchased other games since then. I've done Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate, which was a fantastic game. Guys, y'all are missing out if y'all have not messed with that game. It is so fun. It's so simple. It's so easy. and like it's it's a great challenge to the game. So let's see, what are we saying over here? Hogwarts. Hey, speaking of that, Hogwarts is like $17 right now. Just say you don't like Metaphor. It's okay. I like Metaphor. I don't know what you're talking
Metaphor
about.
sucks.
Yeah, well, that's an opinion. You are
It
allowed
is
to
an
have
opinion.
that. Steven, I'm okay. What the hell is stressful lately? Yeah, it does that sometimes. I promise you. So, Josh, the thing I didn't like about Overcooked is I was I was like halfway through like all the first missions, and I still couldn't really upgrade my shit. And from what I saw online after I was like, because I'm used to playing like Diner Dash on the phone, and you can upgrade your stations and make them faster and make them better and all this other stuff so you can get your stars. Uh, well, this game didn't have that, and it seemed weird. Um, Almost been a year and you haven't bothered finishing it. Must be a goaty game. Listen, me finishing games or not finishing games absolutely does not disqualify or qualify them for being goaty. Absolutely. Uh, yeah. Don't, please. If I had to, if it was based on games that I beat, I don't know much that would get nominated for GOTY, to be quite honest with you. Now, games that I played, that's different. Anyways, so, Will, I think we're going to call it. It has been 3 hours now. Will, tell the good folks where they can find you. There are 115 people here.
You guys can find me over at Will777JP on YouTube and everywhere else, PlayStation, whatever. Yeah, if you want to play some games, you can hit me up on PlayStation. I'll play with you.
Guys, he does have a YouTube channel. He does have an X. Those are both in the description below. Go check those out. He posts videos all the freaking time. He has a show and a gameplay show that he does. And so, yeah, y'all can go check that out. He's been streaming some DS2 lately. And, yeah, really cool dude. I love it when he comes on. We've been around the block several times. Where you just keep sampling what's on subservice. No, I've bought games too. Yeah, Will's really good. Go check him out. All of that. Thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for being here. Hit that like on your way out, please. And outside of that, guys, as always, some things don't change. Stay thrifty.